This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 893 for the week of Monday, November 17th, 2025. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And on today's episode, we have a very special guest. You may know him as the translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. His name is Stephen Paul. How's it going, Stephen?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm happy to announce that Toto has blessed the rains down in SoCal. We do have our first storm of the season.
It's mudslide season, isn't it?
Yeah. I think if there had been more fires, that would have been a bigger concern. But it's mostly just been very dry this year. So it's been a long time since we had some nice rain. So I'm enjoying it.
Good.
That's good. Is that why Toto from One Piece is named that? Now that I'm thinking about it,
yes. He blessed the rains down in Alabasta. That's how the song goes.
Actually, my longstanding supposition that people in Southern California talk about traffic because they don't have weather to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just Los Angeles, but
I think that's Los Angeles. Yeah.
Now there is rain weather to talk about.
Well, there's always weather to talk about these days, but the biggest weather of all is the storm coming. Drawing our art today, also a storyboard artist, and a lot more. Mike Patten with us. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, how's it going? It's going all right for me.
Oh,
so you just answer your own question.
Good thing you're here, Mike. There's something I wanted to mention to you. There's a song I heard on the radio this week. There's a song by the Osmonds called "Down by the Lazy River," and it was on the radio.
Oh hell yeah!
On the oldies station.
I'm very familiar with it. I'm more familiar with the Louis Armstrong version, which I like a lot.
Good. Glad I have nothing to add to that.
I'm no longer a lazy river guy. I'm now a balcony guy.
Yeah, I've heard. I'm still
a lazy river guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't sustain the bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, forget it. I'm just gonna stop the bit right there then.
Anyway, the station I was listening to, actually, their Saturday night is Yacht Rock Saturday.
Hey, that's a good time.
That sounds
sound fun.
Me TV Radio. If you're
cool.
familiar with the Me TV, the oldies station on TV with the old TV shows, they have a radio station.
They don't sponsor us though, so please, unless they choose to, and then
hold
then
your praise to a minimum.
Yeah.
Today on the podcast, we're going to go through volume 113 of One Piece, entitled Stephen,
The Birth of Loki.
Oh, is that what happens? Not to be confused with The Birth of Zorro, which happened in Film Gold.
The Birth of Venus by Botticelli.
Yes, also very easy to confuse with this volume of One Piece. But we're going to go through the SBS with Steven. Maybe a little more. I don't know what else is in here. We'll find out. And we also will have Piece Together for you. Before...
And I do think that Sam and Ken are planning an anime recap to catch us up.
I think a double anime recap for episodes 11, 48, and 49, I believe, are the numbers. So hopefully I'm right. And if so, I'm sure we did. But
Sam and Ken, or as I call them, Skem.
That's very bad.
No, don't call them that.
I've been calling them Cam this whole time.
Cam?
Sam and Ken, right?
Yeah. KAM.
Anyway,
right, I'm going to turn my mic back off.
There's no way to segue, unfortunately. So
and the manga will be back next week.
The manga will be back next week. We're all here, so of course the manga's off. Steven, I know you and I, and Ed, and also obviously Mike, were not on last week for that chapter. I don't know. We could talk about.
I enjoyed it though. I thought it was a good episode.
It was a good episode,
even if it was controversial with the listeners.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I thought Steve, Josh, and Alex did an excellent job. So you could listen to last week's episode if you haven't. So yeah, there's no way to segue, but we have some sad news and some weird news. I'll start with the sad news. Director Tatsuya Nagamine passed away. He was only 53 years old. He passed away over the summer. On August 20th, I believe. But recently Toei held a memorial. We will have Henry Thurlow on the show to talk about his personal experience with Nagamine-san. in soon. I don't want to give an exact date because I'm not sure as I sit here today. But
cool!
if
I
you
didn't
haven't-
know we were doing that.
Neither did I, but we are.
Yeah, we are.
Good.
Now we are. But Henry did post a 5-minute clip on his social media channel, which I hope you all check out. Which is a more fitting tribute than I could ever make, obviously, having never met or worked with Nagamine-san. So please check that out if you haven't. Henry Thurlow, wherever you get your social media.
And to be specific here, Nagamine was the director of Film Z, of the movies, and he was like the series director in Wano or something, like kind of when they started their big like push to kind of rejuvenate the series and
I'm sure if you go back to our 2018 episodes, like he was like the harbinger of the good of this new amazing era of, like, we called it an animator's playground, I think, on our show, and it sounds to me from the stories I've heard and from what I've read in these articles and so forth, that he was really the person who started and fostered that sort of environment, which I think has really revitalized the entire franchise in a way that we didn't even see coming. So he worked on, as you said, was it Film Red too? I'm trying to, or Film Z.
Yes. Z,
as we say here in the States.
Yeah.
But he also did episodes 892 through 1122 as the supervisor, the main director of the series. I know there's a lot of terminology that I'm not as adept with, but he also worked on Dragon Ball Super Broly, that movie as well. Like that, you could tell that. I guess, how would you even describe that art style? Almost
broccoli.
like sketchy looking. No, not broccoli.
I believe the
Broly.
kids call it Brolic. Is the
style?
The adjective? It's the adjective to describe Broly.
Oh, I don't like that either. He's done a lot in just his short time with us. He is, one of the most accomplished members of the One Piece anime staff, bar none. I think he's really shaped it to what it is today, which is becoming a very different anime than it was in 2018, 2017. So there's
Huge
a lot
loss.
it's a huge loss, a lot of great tributes out there. I'll post some links out there if you want to read more about Nagamine-san. To the weird news, I woke up too early this morning, even for me. And I think someone posted on our Discord, but I do periodic searches for the One Piece protest movements since those have started in Indonesia, and noticed there was a big one happening in Mexico City as we record this yesterday, Saturday, November 15th. But it turns out that I'll put it this way. Ed, you probably remember Vicente Fox.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a right-wing politician in
he was the president of Mexico when George Bush was president here.
Right. Next to George Bush, I guess he didn't look so right-wing. But no, so there's a picture of him wearing the straw hat Jolly Roger that I saw. So what ended up happening here is, I think some from the news that we have seen so far and from accounts on the ground, Spanish speaking accounts on the ground, on Blue Sky and elsewhere, it seems like, yes, there was a real protest there, but it got co-opted by right-wing agitators who were just using One Piece stuff to further.
Oh, there were a lot of pictures of One Piece flags he posted.
Yeah, but it ended up that a lot of that might have been
but his supporters?
No, might have been right-wing supporters.
I was like, I don't know, is Fox trying to co-opt it? Or
I don't know if it's Fox specifically, but the whole thing is, so I think the way NBC News put it is, this is a Gen Z style movement. However, the people who are running this particular demonstration were all elderly, I think is the actual word that was used on NBC to describe Fox and I think another former politician. So it sounds like it was like a way to, like a false flag sort of thing. Like,
Or it's just like you hold a protest and the straw hat flag will show up. I think, like I said,
That's what it seems like.
like I said,
nowadays,
when any critical mass of protest signs show up, legalize
Right.
it signs also show up.
right.
Yeah,
Legalize
but
weed. Yeah.
I will say, having looked at the images from the Mexico City one, it is so prolific in a way I hadn't seen in any of the previous rallies, including the ones in Indonesia, which were kind of had the most ubiquity of the.
I thought it was Nepal.
No, Nepal did have a lot of it, but Indonesia was like the breeding ground for using the One Piece flag in a political way.
Not surprised. I remember when we first got our first geographical statistics about who was listening to the podcast. There was a lot from Indonesia.
Indonesia, Philippines, yeah, I think and India, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of English speaking folks there, and more importantly, One Piece is very ubiquitous in those places. Not that it isn't in Mexico as well, but it seems it was like a different level of it, and people were also wearing like just other seemingly random One Piece merch, like Zoro shirts and.
Well, I was wondering if the One Piece popularity in Mexico has anything to do with the Netflix live action actor of Luffy being Mexican. I think
it can't hurt.
No, I think it is very popular there, which is why it's like hard to parse this out. But I know the current leader in Mexico is left wing, and has actually been, from what I read, it sounds like has been making some incremental progress in Mexico. So I think what the main reporting was that the movement that was originally going to protest on Saturday ended up denouncing the protest on Saturday. So I think it's early right now, but I thought that was a kind of crazy bit of news coming out of there. And wanted to point it to people's attention to remind everyone to be skeptical of anything you read. What is it? Trust but verify, or something along those lines. Just, don't trust yourself at 6 a.m. when you see something necessarily that it's 100% accurate. Is the lesson I'm telling myself here.
Incidentally, this is the second time that we've mentioned Vicente Fox on this podcast, which you may remember.
A title named
we had an episode titled Vicente Foxy back in the day.
Still a good title.
Yeah,
he has a great name. I'm not going to deny that out of him.
That's true.
Maybe he was just a fan of our podcast, and that's why he wore that shirt. But what a way to make something uncool is just to have an elderly politician sport it. And it was just gross. I also saw some other images there that I can't really verify that were really gross. In, stomach churning, like One Piece flag held by like far right people. I either hope are false or just because they're trying to co-opt an image that is,
it's an aesthetic.
Yeah, but I think people should listen, if they haven't, to our episode a few weeks ago with Dr. Bentlin, myself, and Golfer Gare, where we really talk about like the deep meaning that One Piece seems to be resonating in a completely different way around the world. But I'm sure we're going to discuss that more in depth in the future, and hopefully once dust has settled a little bit more. I don't like that we have suddenly become an actual, like, quasi, I don't want to even say news outlet, but that we're reporting actual news, but here we are in the year 2025. So to the really crucial stuff, we're going to get to volume 113. And Steven's going to do some story time with us right after this. This is the manga recap for volume 113, The Birth of Loki. This volume may be explicit because it's going to describe the intimate details of the birth process, but it doesn't actually. You could pick up this volume in Japanese, Kinokuniya, or anywhere you get your Japanese volumes. Amazon Japan, I think.
Or just wait a year.
Or just wait a year and it'll be out in English. That's exactly what I was going to say. Volume 110 is out now, by the way, if you haven't picked it up. That's a nice big thick one. So I'm going to be done talking right after I gave it to Stephen Paul. Stephen.
All right. Yeah, here we go. Volume 113. I don't know if I got the chance to talk. I think I may have been off the week that the cover was revealed. So yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have any new thoughts about it? I think this is this the second one in a row now, Zach, that doesn't have the box in the background?
Okay. The last one so the box is, can I stand up as a proponent of the box?
Yeah,
so
that's why I gave it to you. Yeah,
I know. I'm just telling the audience that please forgive me. I'm going to talk about the box. So every volume of One Piece on the cover, there's a box in the background that Oda has completely bursted over for the most part, but it's still there in just about every volume. I haven't looked at all of them, but just about.
No, not this one.
Yeah, so last time they were all like circling.
It was the giants.
Yeah, so they literally were over it. So you could imagine that the box might still be under them. Like maybe it's there. This one didn't even try. There's definitely no box, and there's no reason for there not to be a box. Someone should get fired for this blunder, is all
I was not prepared for how orange Summer's hair was.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very colorful, obviously, it is a One Piece cover.
Yeah, I like the blue and orange motif.
It is nice. It's a very, like, sort of primary color. Like, there's a lot of blue, there's a lot of red, there's a lot of orange on this.
And Luffy's hat his helmet is yellow, and I think getting him is also yellow, except for the parts of him that are black.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be one that's going to be very memorable on the long run, but since it's one of those things where, like Zach said, once you notice that the box is gone, like that sort of frame that kind of centers everything, it does feel weird. Like it feels like they're missing like a background or on a set or something.
They
like
are,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Arrow girl has blue hair. I was not.
No,
I feel bad that I've forgotten her name.
That was a surprise. Gunko.
Gunko.
Yeah.
Gunko. Yeah. We talked about this, I think, but Sai almost exactly predicted this color scheme, which is insane. Wow. If you look back at our image a few weeks ago that she did, the only difference is the eyes were in opposite places, and I think
she's got
the
blue hair like Stinko Man, because you gotta have blue hair.
You gotta have blue hair. Noah. So my son Noah is 4.5. And I brought this in and I had it, and he's like, Daddy, is this a superhero book? I'm like, kind of. He's like, oh, are there pirates? I said, yes. And that's all. He's very into Spider-Man, even though he has never seen any Spider-Man before. So that's osmosis for you. We'll see how that changes next week. I'm told that
Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire is a Thanksgiving movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
We watched it a couple Thanksgivings ago. I think Steve was there.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe serves the turkey, right?
Yeah.
More like Willem Defriend.
And then Macy Gray plays at the what is it? Was it the Life Day parade? No, wait, that's Star Wars.
That's Star Wars. Okay, we are moving on.
Yes.
Steven. Oh, well, Ed, what do you think of the cover generally, though? Do you like it?
I like the color scheme. I mean, Shamrock looks very cool on this cover, actually. He looks
too cool.
Very, very samurai-ish, like his facial hair and
the way he's pulling the sword out.
Mike, yeah.
Question about Shamrock's design, because I know we've gotten a couple like full body pics of him. He's wearing like shorts, isn't he?
Yeah. He's wearing that like
no, it's like riding pants style, right? Like he's got the tall boots and stuff.
I was gonna say it was cool, but I take it back now. He should be in shorts.
He's not cool. I want to make clear that he is like the opposite of cool.
He's kind of evil, yeah.
He's insanely evil. Unless you're into really evil people, he's not cool. And I know a lot of our fans are into very evil people, and that's okay.
Yeah. Overall, though, my
It's fine.
lasting impression, it feels like this is the mandatory like color reveal for the cast that has been introduced. It's
Yes.
just like, okay, here they are. This is what they look like in color.
I
I'll
mean,
say
there's
the
nothing
one-
especially interesting about this design, but everyone's here. Gang's all here.
Well, Killingham is not de-yassified here, so that's fantastic. But I
That's
also
true.
want to add Gabon being here also kind of why. Like, I love Gabon, don't get me wrong, but why is he here amongst all the villains for some reason? Unless he is
His
a
hair's
villain.
white.
Okay.
Luffy's there. That's what I'm saying.
Gabon.
He's in the background.
Here-
It's like
here's all the
just
new
hanging out.
characters.
here's all the new characters. You're absolutely right. Except the
Yeah.
children. Won't someone think of the
No.
children? Okay. Let's are we opening the cover? Which part do you
Yes,
want to
we
do
can
next?
we can
Oh,
look underneath. at
You find
the,
Panda Man, Zach?
Oh, let me look.
now
let
you
me
can
look.
look. Yes, you're
Oh,
allowed to look now. Zach.
It could be anywhere. Obviously. Oh, Gunko looks a little bit
Mhm.
more panda-y.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a little more Manny.
A panda manny. Yes.
Yeah, but it's what is it? A heterochromatic Panda Man because
Yeah.
she has the different colored eye. So like he has one black eye and then one like brown or mid.
It almost looks like one eye
shade.
has a patch over it or something.
Yeah.
I will say of our post like Panda Man stories, which has been a really long time since, like of him appearing in random places in the cover,
Mhm.
I do enjoy the ones where he replaces a character the best, so I have to like this one. However, I think it would have been much funnier if he were Luffy.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah. Or like Gabon or something. I just feel like Gunko is probably
Yeah.
the least interesting person he could have chosen to do this to.
Oh, you're gonna get some hate mail, but yes.
Or if Panda Man was got on Shamrock's face and they gave him Shamrock's beard,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
The
Yeah.
little
Little
crappy
goatee.
the little crappy mustache.
Well, his pandy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but he already has hair. That's already fur. How do you have a mustache over fur? Now, these
Ask
are
a
the
billy
questions
goat.
that keep me up at night. Yeah, sorry, you're right, Billy Goats. Steven, comment.
All right. Oda's comment here. It looks like he just drew Robin, or at least it's a woman who is very similar in style
A
to
dark-haired
Robin
woman with sunglasses
who looks cool.
and with bangs.
And bangs,
of course.
yeah.
And bangs, yeah. So
The bangs
almost
are
certainly
back.
Robin. His comment is the rotation of the Earth has very gradually been slowing. So in the very distant past, a single day was 23 hours, and over time it became 24 now. Man, it must have been really hard for the weekly serialized mangaka of the distant past. And then he says, in parentheses, roughly 180 million years ago. Start volume 113. So, Oda's found out a new fact. That's a
That's
pretty good one.
that is.
And now we're all subjected to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
now we all have to think of what are the prehistoric names of popular manga. I'm not witty
Yeah,
enough.
I
to
mean,
come
that's
up with that on the spot.
180 million years ago. That was the Flintstones age, right?
That definitely was when the Flintstones were around. Yeah, dinosaurs and cavemen walk the earth simultaneously.
Dino Ball Z.
Ed, yes,
It's not bad.
that's really good. That's what the Flintstones kids watched when they got.
Yeah.
They got
No, I like
home and
that.
watched. I can't think of a tsunami. Tsunami. No, wait. It's already a pun. I can't think of another pun. We could get into.
Yeah. I would see. Did I select out the inside cover here? I think this was this is definitely an
Yes, you did.
illustration from the cover of Jump.
Yeah.
Jump.
Luffy just pushing his hat up.
Yeah, but it was like he drew it with like
iPad.
markers or paint or yeah, that's right. It was that iPad.
It looks
thing.
like the iPad. It looks like
Yeah.
digitally, I should say.
Yeah, one of his kind of funky color experimentations.
He seems more willing to do that for Shonen Jump covers, which that's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's less work that way too,
Yeah,
which
sure.
probably helps.
He needs that.
Yeah, but this is volume 113, covers from 1145 to 1155. And so
It's getting late in the evening.
what's that? Oh, yeah, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, this
Wait,
covers from the time 1145. It does start from kind of we're in the midst of the chaos of the sleep dids and the fighting and all of that. And then as the title of the volume would suggest, we do get into the start of this mega flashback that we're on now. And
yeah,
boy,
it still hasn't officially ended, has it?
Yeah,
Nope,
you really would not know.
Or unofficially.
Aside from the fact that it does, we get the rocks reveal on the second to last chapter, and so then the final chapter of the volume does have like, oh, here's all of his crew members and stuff. But aside from that,
if you smell what the rocks is cooking.
Aside from that, if you just looked at the the start of the flashback, you would have no idea where it would end up with us at the current point. But as for the SBS, this is a very big SBS volume. Like I think I counted 8 pages of SBS, which I don't know if that's a record all on its own. There might be other volumes that have had 8. I'm positive that there are none of them that have 9 SBS pages. So this is a pretty packed one as far as the questions and answers go. So
gather on, children. Get your hot cocoa. It's story time.
Yes, it is story time. We'll start with the first one, in which I do love the header illustration here. This submitter has chosen to redo the scene from Logetown when we are introduced to Smoker and his pants eat the little girl's ice cream. Only this time the ice cream scoops are in the SBS shape. So the little girl's like, "It's the SBS," and then her dad has the question corner shirt on, and he says, "Hey, you better hurry up, or Papa will start it." And then it cuts to the shot of Smoker like giving her the money, but instead of giving her the money, he's giving her a little like alarm transponder snail, and he says, "Sorry, I started the SBS before you. Next time, come 5 minutes earlier." And then he's like beeping the alarm on the snail. It's so funny.
There's a lot going on in this.
Yeah, this is the high concept.
Yeah, it looks like soft serve, not scoops.
It looks like something.
Yeah, it's very goopy. Yeah,
it's like pizza in the One Piece world. That's what it looks like.
Well, I mean, they do have that gimmick soft serve in Japan where they put it in the cone and turn it upside down and it doesn't fall.
But instead of reacting to that one, then Oda also selects a regular letter that's like, "Oh, it's so hot. When it's hot like this, you want to turn on the fan and you point your face right at it and you say, 'Start the SBS.'"
Yes, the good old Senpuki.
Yes, and he's like, "Yeah, you remember doing that in the past, right, Odachi?" And Oda's like, "Oh yeah, I used to do that when I was a kid. Boy, we used to love going up to the fan and you say SB, hey, you started it already." And then we get the that picture from the
I'm sure
color
it gets
spread.
hot in Kumamoto. It's in the south.
Yes, more hot than in Tokyo.
It gets hot in a lot of places in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's got that the color spread. I think it was from like a year or two ago. I remember seeing this one in the calendar not that long ago.
A few years
Luffy
ago, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Luffy is doing that exact thing where he's looking into the fan and they're
with a cat
doing the joke.
Is that a cat?
Yes, with the cat. Yeah, the cat is sitting on top of the fan.
And Usopp's just chilling there on the floor.
Yes, and Usopp's hanging out. And then the next question is, does Zunisha poop? And Oda's like, disgusting. He's like, disgusting. That's the first one. Oh God, the first question. Oh, that's so
I've
gross.
been to parades. I know elephants poop.
He says, yes, of course he poops. Yeah. Enough that you would get adventurers disembarking upon it to go on an adventure. Wow, this island, it seems like the whole thing is like one giant swamp. Eventually, the island sinks into the ocean to become nutrients for the sea life. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. He's like, yes, of course, it does poop. So yeah, he goes on a little joke.
Was that an Usopp story? I feel like
yeah, he's basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He makes island poops and
right.
Well, I mean the island poop from Little Garden, that was a giant goldfish poop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The story, yes, and that came from Usopp
right.
originally.
Right.
And wasn't there something in one of the movies like that too, with like goldfish poop or something?
Oh, maybe.
I do not remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember. Okay. Well, our listeners are either saying, "What are you talking about?" or "How could you not remember the poop?" Go ahead.
But now we get some more interesting, factual questions here.
Is it poop related?
So no, it is not poop related. It is. First you want it, then you don't. So this
make
person,
up your mind.
This person asks, everyone's been curious, or the people who have been curious have been dying to know. Let's finally put an end to the question of who was the guy facing away from the camera on the cover of chapter 631, which of course that was the one where Crocus is sharing a drink with a robed guy with the casa straw hat, who looks a lot like Shiki that people thought at first. And so the person says, so tell us straight, was it Shiki the Golden Lion or was it the left arm of the Pirate King, Scopper Gaban? And Oda says, wow, I'm surprised you remember that. Yes, that was Gaban. He never really got over his wanderlust. He's always off traveling, and moving around the globe. And he is a navigator after all. So, yes, we have the canonical answer there.
Have they mentioned he's the? I'm sure they have. I didn't remember.
Yeah, they did. They did say that.
I'm surprised you remember that. That's all we've been talking about for like 15 years.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're the audience for that question.
I know. Yeah, and we were all wrong or right. It's unclear.
I mean, I remember some people were like saying maybe it was Yorkie or something.
I still
right. That was
he's dead.
That was another popular one.
I still like that theory. Well, we don't know he's dead. He's the only one we didn't really see the fate of on Brook's crew because he left before they all died.
Right. Yeah. To get
that was the hook there
for his convalescence in the hospital or whatever it was.
Whatever Shanks had that time.
Yeah. He had to leave the adventure first.
It's the leave the adventure disease. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last question here is, if Bonnie is 12, why does she maintain an appearance in her 20s? Will she be 12 from now on? And Oda says, well, a crew with a kid as a captain is bound to get disrespected once they're out on the sea. In order for her to take on this travel to go find her father, this was a kind of convenient answer. It was a solution to her problem. But now on the Thousand Sunny and in Elbaf, she can just kind of relax and be the kid that she actually is. And he says, let's watch over, what she does in the future. So yeah, it kind of seems like that's going to be the going pattern from now on, at least when she's around her.
Where is
her dad.
Bonnie right now in Elbaf? Is she on the ship or what's she doing?
With Lilith.
She's with Kuma. Yeah,
no, she's with Lilith.
Yeah,
we don't know where Kuma is.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Lilith was going to build the lab. Somewhere in Elbaf.
But yeah, Kuma is MIA. But I assume somewhere.
I think he's
close.
just hanging out on the ship.
Yeah, he's just enjoying himself. Yeah,
he's like the big Snorlax in there. He's just
or Totoro. He's like kind of just
yeah.
He's
just sleeping it off. Our next SBS segment has a wonderful callback to Corazon and Law, where Corazon is he's not like blowing his vape rings, he's farting SBS rings when he demonstrated his silent powers.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
That's
silent
but stinky.
Yeah.
Because you see Law there. But yeah, it's grown up Law, not little kid Law. So the first question here is from a reader who says, so the sea beast weapons, all those the mecha animals that were in the sea outside of Egghead, were they based on, are they modeled after all the Yatter mecha like Yatter 1 and Yatter King that appear in the Yatterman anime? Oh, it's so nostalgic. And Oda's like, right? Yes, like that's exactly what I was going for. And he says, he explains, long ago, there was a mecha anime called the Time Bookon series, which I loved. And you had people like Mitsuki Nakamura-san and then Kunio Okawara, who later on went to work on the Gundam. They created the foundations of Japan's robot anime, and it had all of their design, their ability to design, their designing prowess, and their coloring.
And
all
this
that
aired on
stuff.
TV when Oda was in primary school, 1977-79 era.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know the actual years of.
Yeah, I just looked that up. It's
okay. Yeah, so
because
right.
Oda, as we know, is 50 years old now. He was born in
yes, he is.
75.
Yeah, so he would have been seeing probably reruns when he was a little kid. He's like, yeah, they were just so alluring, all of these designs. There was also a plastic model, pramodel is what they call it, or like a toy, I guess, called Robodachi. That he also includes a picture of here.
It reminds me of Haro from Gundam.
Yeah, it's just like a little like Humpty Dumpty looking guy with short little arms and feet, in a big old smile, and he says, all of the robots that I draw are like trying to be like Time Bokan and Robodachi. And he's like, wow, I just went off on another tangent that no one's going to understand. And he laughs. He's like, maybe you can look at this stuff up online. Anyways, they're very exciting designs, and they're full of joy and wonder.
And he was talking about the egghead boots there too.
Yes, that is our next question. In fact, we have in 1064 we do see the introduction of the Dom shoes, and the question is asking, were they called that because they're an homage to the legs of the Dom, robot in Mobile Suit Gundam? And Oda's like, oh yes. Whenever I hear or whenever I think of like fat legs, I think of Dom. So that's the connection there. That's where he got that from. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, so, I think at the time,
Kenkel boots.
Yeah, pretty much. The gout boots.
Yeah, I think we had a different crew on, so I think they had different theories. But yeah, no, that's there was thought it was Gundam maybe related. I feel like
well, he did a lot of like exposition, like world building dumping in those chapters when they were getting shown around Egghead, because there was like the Labo phase and the Fabrio phase, and there was a lot of stuff where it was like, I don't even know what this is talking about, what this is referring to. So it's nice that we at least get that, because I never even thought about those since they showed up, that they had that name.
I gotta watch more. I gotta watch my old Gundam again. It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Just looking at images is getting me nostalgic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And our last question here, this is very, very interesting, and one that has not come up in a long, long time. The question is, so in the world of One Piece, we know about two calendar systems, and these are in Japanese, they're called Kaien Deki and Tendeki. And that would mean like, I guess it's literally like ocean or sea circle calendar, and then heaven calendar, heavenly calendar. And these are mentioned, this is just me talking. He includes this picture of when Nami is reading it's in Jaya, when she's reading these old historical books, and saying, oh yeah, in the the year of Kaien 1120, June 21st, it's blah blah blah, we left the lively town of Vera, and all this stuff. I believe that the Viz translation at the time just called it the year of Kaien or something, which is, I'm loath to like to complain too much about the work of older people, because I know how hard it is to like anticipate how these things will end up becoming used later on. But this is very much like the Hakoku sovereignty thing, where it's like, okay, it's a Japanese term, but
maybe
because
they
they
needed more translation.
Yes, exactly. Instead of because they didn't know what it was, they just left it in Japanese, and that's not really very helpful. So I might need to do some like editorial or some contextualizing in the text here. But there was that, and then there was the tenreki, which Robin mentions when she's reading off the poneglyph with Crocodile in the crypt underneath Alubarna. So anyways, back to the question. So the Kainreki and the Tenreki, what years, like how many years ago do these calendar systems refer to? And like what year, what age are we in now, and what year is it? And that is from Negzile. And Oda says, interesting. Yes, this is the sort of thing that normal readers have completely forgotten about. And he laughs to himself. But we are not the normal readers, of course. And he says, so you must be curious, of course. And you're under the assumption that both of these are old or like outdated calendars that are no longer in use. But the answer is that in the present day, it is Tenreki year 4131 and Kainreki year 1541. And so that would be like the age of heaven and the age of the sea, or the age of the sea circle, or
which
something
one's
like
which? Yeah.
Tenreki is the longer one, and the Kainreki is the shorter one.
Yeah, I mean, the age of the sea and the age of
the sea is the Kainreki is, and the age of the heaven is the Tenreki, the longer one. And Oda says,
and the Void Century, was it 800 years ago?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's part of both. So Oda says they are both in use. So they're both active, I guess. It's not like they stopped one and then started the other. They're both ongoing. They're measuring from some whatever particular points in the past they are. And he also adds, because like in the lead up to Skypia, which was kind of started by the journal that they found, talking about the journey in the sky and everything. That's what Nami's reading. And she says it's a journal from 400 years ago. He says all this stuff in Skypia about being is all roughly 400 years ago. But I just used the term 400. I was just rounding down. So, you don't think too hard about that, which I guess is his way
Greg.
of yeah, I guess that's his way of saying like
timelines of these.
Yes, don't try to calculate like exact years based on on that. It's just roughly 400 years ago.
Wait, I'm going on the grandline.com to see, because he definitely he has a timeline here. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if that's going to be important, and it's noteworthy of that. Like, okay, the nearer one, the one that's newer, still is like, like 700 years older than the Void Century. So it's not something that was created like by the world government.
I know Greg has not updated this in some time, so please keep that in mind. But looking at things that did happen around the 4,100 years ago, the only thing that comes up is the Ohara, the library was around 5,000 years old around.
Interesting.
So that's interesting. And then
that would be older than the calendar.
Yeah, that's one of the only things up until recently, at least, that we heard about like pre-Void Century. We also have that mural, so who the hell knows what's happening? But
the mural, and then what was it like? The robot. I don't know if it was the robot or if it was that there was the stuff that was also much older than the Void Century. Related to
Robonosuke?
The Robo.
No, Robonosuke I think was supposed to be from around that time. Well, he definitely was, because Joyboy imbued him
at least
with,
that.
He's at least that old. Yeah, I mean he's got to be older than that, I suppose.
Mhm.
But he was so cute back then. He must have been a little kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it says this
Yes,
information is
it's like
accurate as of
yeah,
volume
it's
55. So that Greg, I know, has had
that's
other
how
things
old
to
it
do
is.
since
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, but in short, yeah, it's like it's interesting. It's hard to say how meaningful that will be in the long run, but it's good to know that at least they're like Oda has it's straight in his mind of like, okay, this is this and this is that. So we'll go to the next SBS page here, which has a fun, very simple header of Papagu at his like Crimin brand display here, where he has new items, and it's 3 shirts that all look very similar that just say SBS on them.
And they all have the stitches
the
on
scar,
them.
yeah, the little the scar thingy.
One of them's a ringer tee. One has stars. One is just dark.
Yeah. Very, very unified in their look. And the first comment comes from someone who says, "Ta-dan! Odachi, tie kick!" And that's the entirety of the message. And Oda's like, that hurt."
That sounds like the Batsu game sound.
Right, yeah, what they do to Yamazaki. He always gets tie kicked in the year-end special.
Yeah, Tanaka always gets the tie kick.
Oh, is it Tanaka? Oh, that's right, Tanaka. Yamazaki's the one who gets slapped every time.
Yeah. Hosei always gets slapped by Chono.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the follow up to this is Odachi, what's the thing you're most afraid of? And then they included the picture, the big spread of all the sleep tids that all the kids' worst fears. So in reference to that story beat, and Oda's his answer is tie kicks and the PTA. So yeah,
we should have guessed the PTA.
It's a bad sign for Oda here. And then we get a great question here. I really like this one. I think Oda's answer is fantastic. It is about Vegapunk and York. So it says, "Hi Odachi. So I was wondering this as I was reading. Is the fact that York wants to be a celestial dragon a sign that, before he split his personality into satellites, there was a part of Vegapunk that wanted to be a celestial dragon too?" And Oda's like, interesting. Yeah, is this shocking to you? Because it's a tricky thing to talk about, he says. But in my opinion, in my way of thinking, all people have a very large greed or desire, the yoku, which is where he came up with the name York for greed. All people have a large greed towards everything, and it is it's our sense of reason that keeps it in check and allows us to actually be human in our control over ourselves. So if the reason is good or righteousness, if the reason is shaka, then that's the thing that normally, because you can't separate these things out, that would govern stuff like your disgust towards the celestial dragons and the things that they do, and your common sense of reason that you're not supposed to just kill people. So in that sense, I think there is the potential for a celestial dragon inside of everyone. He says that's kind of an extreme way of putting it, or a very simplified way of putting it. But that's think about that as much or as little as you want. He says, he kind of laughs it off. So basically, the answer is, maybe all people have the desire to be a celestial dragon.
I know we spoke a lot about like the I guess how flawed of a character Vegapunk was.
Vegapunk, yeah.
And interesting to hear like almost uncharacteristically cynical view of humanity from Oda. In that we all are fucked up. Which is true.
Yeah.
But it's coming
I
from
mean-
Oda feels almost kind of, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously the celestial dragon angle makes it more extreme but that's because that's what the story angle is about. But obviously, I think if you were to remove it from that, it would just be, well, everybody has like desires. We just keep them under, they don't have to be as wicked as that. They could just be desires about, more innocuous things, but everyone is susceptible to that.
Well, it's that, I mean, to be fair, like everyone has, thoughts. That doesn't mean that they act on them. And then maybe it's that when you split your personality into these different parts, then it's an interesting philosophical,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing that you could do.
Not to get Freudian, but it's the id and the superego.
Yes, it is. And then our last question here, I do love this one. It is like, boy, Luffy has really small pupils, right? What would happen if he wore color contacts? And Oda's like,
that's what this is.
Okay, here he's like, this would happen. And so he has on the left, he has just a regular drawing of Luffy with his little kind of beady eyes.
And on the right, this is what Luffy would look like if he ate mushrooms.
He's got the dilated pupils. No. So on the left, he is doing his famous catchphrase, which is, "I'm going to be the king of the pirates." And then on the right, now he's added little sparkles, but it looks like a blingy version of Luffy. You remember that website where you would add like little sparkles and stuff?
Absolutely.
He's like a little yassified version of Luffy here with big eyes. And he's saying, "I'm going to be the hero of the pirated version," or in other words, the bootleg version of One Piece, basically.
I'm going to be the hero of what?
The pirated version.
Because
that's what, Kaizokuban is what they call like a bootleg. But in order for it to match to be the king of the pirates, you kind of have to match the pirate part. So that's a fun one.
I'm going to be king of the bootlegs.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't work as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So our next SBS over here, we have a fun, I like this one where it's like, it's like two panels in one, where there's the picture of Emu, in silhouette, obviously saying like, do not search or do not ask. I will not answer. Which I forget which exact line this was in response to, but, and then you have like peeking out from behind.
Was the it's the Cobra, him asking the question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Cobra was asking. And then you see a Wapol like peeking out from the grate or whatever, and he's like crying in terror.
Excellent.
Yeah. And
that's good.
I like how Wapol has become this witness to it's a very funny conceit.
Yeah, the designated witness. So the question here is from someone who says, "I want to see Vivi at age 40 and 60. Also, I've laid down a layer of anti-Sanadachi spray, so don't worry, you're safe this summer." Like it's mosquito spray, basically.
You know what?
And
good, I like this guy.
And
I'm sure I won't be foiled.
No, this is good. This certainly won't backfire in any way.
No.
Oda says, "Yes, no more Sanada. Okay, as thanks for that, I will draw what you asked for." And so we get, we get the classic, the classic the four quadrants here of 40 and 60 in a good and bad future. And so the good Vivi at age 40 basically looks just like regular Vivi
with glasses.
She's got she's wearing her glasses.
She have glasses. Glasses to show that time has passed.
Certainly does. And she's saying, "Let's go, Karoo, to the East Blue." So they're going to go on a trip. And then at age 60, now she's wearing a more elegant, hairstyle, where she's got it tied into a bun in the back. And it appears that she's like at a social function or something, because she's holding up her hand to her mouth and saying, "Oh, you're so charming. Are you such a flatterer?" Oh. So she's receiving a compliment.
That seems like a bad future if you have to go schmooze at a function, but okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, she's a queen, right?
You gotta schmooze sometimes. That
yeah. And then age 40, she has clearly left. This is Igorum's nightmare, where she's gone off to be a pirate.
This is Igorum's nightmare.
Yeah. And she's got like the captain's hat on and everything, and she's all dirty. She's got a big scar. And I love this. Her comment is like, "I'm gonna hypnotize you dumbass," referring to her like belly dance that she does as Miss Wednesday.
Oh,
which is a fun like side thing that never really comes back.
The bad future 60-year-old Vivi looks like a fairy tale witch.
Yeah, this is
a very bad future.
She's gone full like Onibaba here. She's
by the way,
witching it up.
By the way, the age 40 one can't be the same as the age 60 one. Like, these are two separate bad futures.
The bone structure has changed completely. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
But yeah, in her age 60 version, actually, yeah, you're right. It looks like she's wearing the Celestial Dragon.
Yeah.
But she's still got like the scar. I guess. Yeah. No. I guess she must have come back from being a pirate and then was like,
does
okay.
She have the scar? Oh, you're right.
Join.
She does.
Yeah, the forehead scar. And she's saying, Luffy. Yeah, I remember that guy, I remember that name. So yeah, she's like.
By the way,
has no fondness for it anymore.
Her Jolly Roger is just a knife through an eye.
Through a skull, yeah. That's pretty sick.
It's such a lazy. I love it.
Yeah, that rules.
It's like Snake's tattoo in The Simpsons. It's just like as simple as possible.
I'm bad, Vivi. You could tell by the Jolly Roger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am evil, Vivi. I am evil, Vivi.
I like it.
I'll write it down. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the next one is about the naming of Luffy's Gear 5 moves. In Luffy's Gear 5, he has these new attacks like Gum Gum Dawn Whip and Dawn Rocket, which the kanji for those are like white whip and white rocket. Like the Dawn is originally white in Japanese. He's like, oh, they're so exciting, but usually when you think of stuff that's white, I mean, the first word you would associate with it, of course, is panties. So I think that would be way more exciting for people.
This guy.
Why is it Red Dawn? And that's from pen name Ijiko. And Oda's like, hey, wait a second. Like, he's talking to the person who submitted the Vivi question. He's like, hey, you, your Sonata spray is keeping the Sonatas away, but it seems to have drawn other perverts to our midst instead. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? Speaking of white, everyone associates this with white. He's like, yeah, shut up. And he's like, oh, PTA, members of the PTA, please, no, it's not what you think. That's not what kind of manga this is. So he's protesting his case there. And then the last one
protests a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one, this is the one that was like first immediately spoiled for me as soon as people started leaking the stuff. So some of you may have.
So it's a Sonata question, obviously.
No. This one was Heso Odachi. Are Queen and Frankie father and son?
Oh God.
And
that guy's father was a pirate.
And Oda says, oh. And then he has a little like sweat drop emoji, and then in parentheses there's a parenthetical here where he's thinking to himself.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. Okay, so this is what he's thinking. He's like, crap, they must have seen that in the One Piece Vivre cards, the year that Queen had a child and the year that Frankie was born match, and he also must have seen that the year that Queen abandoned his child and the year that Frankie was picked up by Tom also matched. Oh, damn. But there's no way I can't reveal something here that to allow the readers to know something that the people in question themselves don't know. So I have to hide this out. I have to throw them off the scent. And then end parenthetical. And he's like, no, why'd you say that? Like he just completely fumbles whatever he's trying to say in any protest of like, no.
Oda's determined to not answer this question.
He's not going to answer the question,
but also did answer the question.
Yes, and in doing so, acknowledges and admits it. Which I guess is about as appropriate a way to address this in the story as any, since it doesn't seem like
it's
not in the story.
No, exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
and it doesn't seem like either of them would care about it.
No,
either.
I don't think. Yeah, but it's Found Family is the, it's a story about Found Family. That said,
yeah, that's about how I feel about it too.
Yeah, I mean, even if that were revealed in a way that was more satisfying, still.
Yeah, it's like he could have done something dramatic or made it more personal for them. I'm not opposed to the idea that like, oh, Frankie is like, oh yeah, some pirate or another was my parent, but he doesn't care about him. I think it's fine. Like it's interesting to have it turn out to be someone who's shitty. Like I think that's cool. Like not everybody has to have like a cool dad.
No, I like that, especially in the middle of this flashback where everyone has a cool dad.
Right, exactly.
even maybe Caribou. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, I guess maybe the fact that it's whatever is a good thing because everyone else has such a cool dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the placebo version that you judge them all the other ones against.
The control.
It's like, Frankie's is kind of crappy, so like it's cooler that somebody else has like a notable dad or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there you go. Oda addresses the rumors.
And they were true.
They were true. The next SBS has everyone's favorite character they've tried to forget about, Kanjuro.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bird whose name I forget, but it's fantastic.
Just the sparrow, right? Or did it have a name? I forget.
I think it had
like Spring Sparrow or something like that?
Yeah.
Like that was. This
is when they were escaping the garbage pile and Dressrosa.
Yeah, I guess they didn't name it because it was the Straw Hats who named like Ryunosuke and that sort of stuff. So it was just the Spring Sparrow.
How could someone so shitty make such great art? Wait a second, this is not related to real life.
Great in quotation marks.
What are those like tags, those seals on the ink?
That's just the SUB to let you know that that's where the letters are. So yeah, he's tweeting the question corner. Our first question here is about a callback, which I don't know. I don't remember if we specifically singled this out. But now that he puts them side by side, they're literally. Yeah. I don't know if these are the same.
I don't think we mentioned this.
Are these literally the exact shapes of the panels too? Because he could have just done that to like accentuate it. But anyways, yeah, in 1127, which was the adventure in the land of mystery. This is where Luffy and Zoro and Sanji attack the cat, like the giant cat in the Lego Kingdom. They do the what is it? The Maki Whip Strike. Their 3-part attack. That's the same angle and everything as the Maki Muchi shot. So the Maki Whip shot, I guess, from Alabasta in the Adventure of the Kingdom of Sand on the giant lizard there. It's the same angle and everything. And I was looking it up, and man, that was 24 years apart. Wow, I've grown. I've gotten so much older. And he says from age 10 to age 34. And Oda says,
did Oda deteriorate before this very eyes?
No. Oda says, yeah, I guess this was a scene that really lit your young heart aflame. It got you all riled up as a kid. Thanks for noticing that. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I was doing some kind of hidden hidden homage, emotional homage here for all the old time readers.
So a thing I do want to mention, I don't know if you're noticing, Stephen, but there's a lot of Alabasta and let's say like Baroque Works saga level stuff in this in particular. I'm gonna guess it's because he's been working on the live action of those, and it's
getting updates on it or something.
Yeah, I bet you he's like, okay, I'm reading the script or something, and oh well, maybe I should go back and see what I wrote here. Yeah, because he did. I mean, he definitely up to the release was doing a lot of East Blue like stuff like that.
That's
color
true.
Spread.
Yeah,
I think of the things that he's worked on supplementally as a supplementary thing like the live action or movies or whatever. This has really helped, I think, his storytelling, and I like these little homages to Alabasta in that era. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The next question is about Wano. Here you can see we've got a big old map of all the regions of Wano, and the comment is, so now the Akazaya 9 seem to be the daimyos for all the regions of Wano. Can you please tell us how they were selected? Was it Kinemon who assigned them to those spots? Way to go, Kinemon, or way to go, Kin-san. And Oda says, yes. Well, now that the evil Kaido and Orochi are no longer around, and of course Oden has passed on, his son Momonosuke has announced that he will be ruling the kingdom of Wano. Ba-bang! The problem is that he is still an 8-year-old boy on the inside, so of course he needs the help of the Akazaya 9. So he says on the left here, and you can see an older map of Wano, and now the Okobori towns, like the leftover towns from the various regions, the what do they call this? The prisoner excavation camp or whatever.
You got it. I think that's how you did it.
It was something like that. Yeah, the factories and Onigashima, all of these no longer exist. So he says, as is revealed on the cover story that we've been doing, the samurai of the Akazaya, basically talked it all over and decided to become the daimyo to spread across the land. And while in the flower capital, we have Kinemon as the Tairo, or like the great elder, I guess, which is, I'm sure that's probably a court position from one or other of the the various imperial eras of Japan.
I guess it kind of makes him like the mayor of the capital.
Yeah, kind of. And then Cat Viper is like they call it the rear face, but I would guess that he's probably more like the backroom, the underworld representative, or the go-between or something, since he is kind of Yakuza coded himself. So he's probably the guy who's dealing with all of the Yakuza clans. And he finishes by saying, Yamato is still traveling and learning more about the ways of the world. And so he's got a little list here that shows that in the flower capital, we have Cat Viper, Kinemon, and Momonosuke. In Kibi is Denjiro. In Kuri is Dogstorm. Udon is the daimyo is Raizo. Hakumai is Kawamatsu. And Kikunojo, or Okiku, is Ringo.
Saw many of these. I don't think we saw all of these, right?
Yeah, I don't think we saw all of them, but we saw a couple of them for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we saw Denjiro, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I might be wrong, because it blends together, that whole.
All right, we will move on to the next. Still not through with these. There's still a few more to go through. Our next SBS header is, I guess this is the scene where Gear 5 Luffy gets all of his like face features knocked off. Right?
Yeah,
he's doing the THX audio
right. That's
thing.
I love it.
Remember X.
We call him Maxell D. Luffy, I think was the
that's right.
title for them.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, he's forming the SBS with his hat and his eyes and everything. And then we get another interesting question. This is kind of a process question here, but it kind of serves as Oda's, I guess, definitive answer on like some of his creative decisions here. So the question is,
we talked about this a little, right, earlier, I guess, the iPad stuff.
Well, no, not exactly here. I know you can see. Sorry. I know you can see iPad in the text here, but
I know how to read English, guys.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So it is Odachi. Nowadays, ebooks, electronic books, digital books are commonplace, and there's more and more web-only manga. But it feels like, even aside from the big panels where One Piece is on a double page spread, it seems like there's a lot of there's a lot of panels that cross 2 pages. So he has an example here of the scene where Loki stands up after being chained, and he's like looming over Luffy, and you can clearly see that it's like 1.5 pages basically, and then the last bit is a couple more panels. And so this person is asking, are these designed, or are you coming up with these layouts with people reading it on paper in mind? And Oda's like, yes. Nowadays you can read Jump, you can read the volumes in digital form as well, of course. And he says, of course, you're all free to read the story in whatever method you prefer. But in my mind, like I'm always envisioning the manga as 2 pages at once. And so he shows, just like 2 regular pages. It's not a double page spread. There's a big, white gutter in the middle, but you're seeing both of them at the same time, the way that you would when, you have the book open. So he says, yes, I see it as one set of 2 pages. So, for the digital Jump, the digital comics, the digital volumes, I should say, I am envisioning it as you are reading it on a computer or on an iPad with a longer horizontal screen. I guess that's how I would put it. So, like, for example, one of the things that I will do, Oda says, is like, if I want to do a big impact panel, like, okay, I'm going to do a spread, it's going to be huge. I will on purpose draw like on the page before, the very last, like down in the lower left corner, I'll make that one extra small, a little small panel, just so that when you turn the page, it makes the large panel look even larger. So I'm playing around with your perspective in that sense, a lot of the times. And, the size of the panels is one of the methods of expression, of artistic expression here. So for everyone who reads on a vertical screen, like your smartphone, all I can say is, I'm sorry. And then he laughs. So yeah, it seems like, it doesn't necessarily answer to like, why do you put like dialogue bubbles over the middle where the text is broken up? That really
Did
sucks
you write
for
this
us.
question, Steven?
Yeah, no, that's the question that I would write to him is why do you split the bubbles? But this is obviously, I think you can tell, like you can already tell that this is kind of like his philosophy towards it.
I think splitting the text bubbles is even harder on the letterer than it is on Steven.
Yeah, but I still have to decide, like, okay, where do I split the text so that it actually will fit properly?
Like, what words do you write?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but clearly, yes, it's definitely obvious from his designs that, like, yeah, he intends for you to read 2 pages at a time, not to scroll through 1 page at a time.
Yeah, and as someone who initially at least reads on their phone, it's it's noticeable. But I that's like, mostly because of situation. You can't even
that too. Yeah, I mean, you can always turn it to landscape mode, but then it's even smaller on the screen.
On a
'cause
phone,
it's
yeah,
two
that's
pages.
not.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Our next, I do love this next question. So, and this is clearly now that we've seen a lot more of the Celestial
Yeah.
Dragon families.
I don't like it. I don't want to see these guys.
All right, so here we go. The Rosward, Saint Rosward, Saint Charlos, and Saint Shalria, which you'll remember are father and son and daughter. What family are they in? Because of course now we have what is it, like the Manmeyer family and the what's Shamrock's? I forget.
No one really cares.
Yeah.
No, but people
Figureland, right?
Figureland,
yes, Figureland, yeah.
So
we've gotten a bunch of these.
Name.
We've got a bunch of these names.
And the Shepherd family.
Shepherd
family. So Oda says, they're the Rosward family. I guess St. Rosward's parents were stupid or something. His name is Rosward.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I
have some good stories off mic. I could
kinda
tell
love
you about that.
Oh, boy. Okay, and then our last question on this page is, I'm sure you've gotten lots of requests for this, but I think we should bring back the voice actor question corner for Subaru Kimura, who of course is the new Frankie actor, because they did back. Man, how far ago? That was like just after the
time skip. Yep.
Yeah, man, that was a long time ago.
Although for Jinbei's, they must have brought that back more recently.
Or no, I think they started it before the time skip because
they did.
I was going to say I started working. I think 65 was the first volume I did entirely on my own, and I think I only had to translate like maybe one or two.
I was going to say I think that was Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Oda's response is, good point. Yes, ever since the longtime voice actor of Frankie, Kazuki Yao, stepped down, we have to say, of course, thank you so much for all of your time, portraying our Aniki and his, all of his strength and power. So now that Subaru Kimura is performing Frankie's voice, let's do a Subaru Kimura SBS. So send in your questions. So I guess look forward to that within the next couple volumes, probably.
I was going to ask, sorry, Stephen, on this Frankie question.
Yes.
Do you remember, must have been years ago, that I think as a joke, Oda said something like, or Yao said, like, I just don't want this hairstyle in the post time skip or whatever it was. And he said, I'm going to put it in there, but we don't know which one that was. And us as a podcast have been trying to guess which hairstyle
I
Frank.
don't remember that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So we'll never find out the answer to that question, I guess. Probably.
I thought it was this one.
The one here,
yeah.
That sounds like something Yao would be okay with. I feel like Yao would be okay with anything. So he had
Greg would probably
ones.
remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. You could move to the next one.
Yeah. Next SBS is another recent callback here. We have Elbaf Nami along with Zeus having summoned him, and then let's see, where is I guess Zeus is like the crackling electricity is the S, and then Sanji is getting one. Yeah, Sanji's getting zapped, and he's doing a B, like he's doing like a YMCA dance. And then Roto is also getting zapped by more lightning that has the S. So it's a very subtle,
obscure. What is it?
Very subtle one.
Yeah, a little hard to make out.
but I do like the drawings. I like the characters. Mm-hmm. And we have here, this is a callback to the line at the start of Elbaf, where I forget the exact wording that I used, but you must not, or you should not do not overstay your welcome here. That's right. That was what I had it, and that was from the explorer Louis Arnault, who is the author of Bragman. And so the reader writes in and says, "Do not overstay your welcome in the SBS." From PTA chairman Louis Arnault. And and it was like, oh my God, he was the PTA chairman? And he's like, I'm trying really hard to make this a corner where the children can stay as long as they're welcome. I'm trying. And then it's like little like tears, kanji. Like he's so desperate. And so then to prove his point, so here we go. We have the kids have written in. He's reproduced the kids' handwriting from their postcards. The first one is, Oda Sensei, hello. I'm Masahito, age 6. I thought of a new devil fruit. It's called the Shaki Shaki no Mi. And if you eat it, this is a bit of like a Japanese joke or, Japanese language thing. If you get attacked, you will still be shakito shitemasu, which is, it's kind of like you'll still be firm or you'll still stand tall against it or something like that. Obviously I'll have to come up with something that works in translation for that.
I guess Vanessa will have to channel her inner 6-year-old.
Yeah, I guess every time I'm like they just have to do like a
I could have my son just draw write it for you, and we'll see.
Yeah,
in a couple years, which will be when it's ready. Yeah.
And so Oda's response is here. Oh, 6-year-old Masahito. Oh, that's so cool. The Shaki Shaki fruit. Wow, maybe I should use that one. Oh, that's so adorable of you. He's like throwing all these hearts in. Oh, are you watching, everyone from the PTA? See, this is a safe place. Look, we have another very adorable postcard coming in.
I really don't like this.
And so the next one, which is also drawn like that, is Jinbei's penis blue? And
I'm
Oda's
done.
like,
well, to be fair, a 6-year-old would ask that, especially in Japan. I feel like
I think I'm gonna have to say genitals, because if you remember, like the sharks have 2 penises. So, and I think he did say that there were 2 of them.
He did
in a question.
Yeah, so, I think he did recently.
I'll say genitals.
I wasn't gonna ask what the plural version of that would be, but okay, go ahead.
Peni.
Yeah.
And Oda's like, oh, 5-year-old Amimi-chan. He's like, wait, what are you asking? And then in parentheses, it's blue. So there you go. And there's a little picture of Jinbei just to help you with the mental image, in case you need it.
It's like, do you remember what Jinbei looks like? Now imagine his penis.
Exactly.
Penises. Or is it like moose? Singular is the same.
And then the bottom question here, we say, so I guess it turns out that magic mirrors, one-sided mirrors exist in the world of One Piece, since of course that was in the Roto's Lego Kingdom. He had his one-sided glass. Like, did you know that in our world, there's a car made out of magic mirrors? Like, it's all one-sided glass. He's like, now I have absolutely no ulterior motives or, underhanded thoughts. But there is just something about a one-sided glass that there's just a real dream there. And that is from Sanadachi. And Oda's like, yeah, it's nothing but dreams, baby. Like heart. Yeah, they think it's just a mirror, but actually, and then like ... Sanada, why are you here? And then then there's the panel of Nami kicking Sanji, which I believe that's what this is all based off of, because he said like, oh, it's a thing of dreams, the one-sided glass, when they discovered that that's what they thought Elbaf was actually just a big set.
Wow, jail.
So, there you go.
Yep.
Sanada, but there is more. There's one more SBS. The dirty jokes are gone.
Thank God.
And the first, so the SBS header
this is something.
Is Evil Gunko. She's got the devil wings and everything, and there's like, Saint Elmo's fire or whatever. She's making it come out of her hands, and it says SBS Corner. And she is saying, all of the SBS shall now begin. or whatever the version that it's parodying in the Elbaf arc is. So you'll notice this is the very last SBS page, and then Oda has a comment where he like points up at it with the arrow, and he's like, "Look, I put it in here. This is what happens when you try to start it with the SBS with your little drawings. This is what happens." So he's basically just like rubbing it in their face, like, I'm going to put it in the back of the volume instead, which I thought was very, very funny. Meta humor here.
Even though they did the same
SBS.
exact thing.
Yes,
in the
even though
first one.
he did it in the first one, just so you recognize how it works. And then the next.
Also, is that where Gunko's buttons are in the actual thing? Sorry.
I mean, that's what all the coats are like, right? Like
I
he
guess
just,
they are.
He always draws the rows of two buttons, the double-breasted suit. And so the next one, this is kind of like, I don't know if this is like a Japanese thing or whatever, but you will often see like when people talk about their age, they refer to it as a level. So this one says, Oda-san, is it true that you're now level 50? Because like the way you talk in the SBS seems like level 8. And and it was like, shut up. That's what my daughter said. It's pretty
excellent.
good.
Excellent.
Pretty good joke.
And true. Also very true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for good and for bad, it is why One Piece is the way it is he is eternally level 8 or somewhere around there.
Exactly.
I do also like that terminology of level. It makes it a little more dignified.
Yeah, I've seen that in author comments before, so that's why I'm like, maybe that's like a thing, like a slang thing.
It must be.
And then we have a question here. Hi, this is my first time writing in. So you know how you do all those those cover story series? My dad was saying, like, isn't it pretty much true that like none of the characters in them come back into the story? What's the truth there? And Oda's like, what? That's not true. I mean, so here's all the cover stories I've done. And so he has little icons of each. And so we've got Buggy, Kobe, Django, Hachi, Wapple, Ace, Gedatsu, Baroque Works, Eneru, CP9, Caribou, Jimbei, Straw Hat Fleet, Bedge, Germa, and Yamato. He's like, yeah, this is how many I've done. And pretty much all of those characters have shown up in the story again. If anything, he says, it seems more like these stories serve to explain what those characters have been doing so that the readers know when they show up again in the story. And he says, yes, there's a series of books, which I'll have to include only in Japan, that collect just the covers of all the chapters called doors. And that makes it easier to reread all of these cover stories. So and he addresses the person writing in. He's like, are you wondering if maybe Yamato will come back into the story at some point? And he says, look forward to the future, and then laughs. So
I think all of these people are coming back in the story, and this just almost like solidifies it. Have we seen Ms. Golden Week or Gadatsu though? Those two I feel like are the
Gadatsu might be a holdout. Yeah.
I want to go to that spot.
Yeah, and of course we also have not seen Eneru, but he at least has some evidence that suggests we might see him again.
I think it's certain, and I think it'll be in a big way. The longer it takes, the more substantial I feel like it needs to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure we need doors here. I want that in English, but I don't know how many other people do.
Yeah, it's a very what would you say? What's the like inessential kind of thing. Like it's neat to
Yes.
have and to look at. It is absolutely not necessary to enjoy.
It's more necessary for us, I feel like, to like be able to read and remember as podcasters or like
sure
for super fans. It's a good thing to have. I understand that it is an essential otherwise, but
yeah. And then our final SBS question here. You can see in the picture here, it is the little boat that Jewelry Bonnie first left on, where she drew the Kuma portrait.
No, that was
very adorable.
Wasn't that Kuma's ship that he just this was Kuma's ship that she drew the portrait for. It's not Bonnie's ship.
I thought she made it.
She did, like and he put it up because it's like, look, it's my kid.
And
that's
she drew
right.
This. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
Because there's also the Target thing at the top. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Which is, I guess, a cross, but whatever.
Right. The question is, I thought it was really cute that Kuma's the sail of Kuma's ship has the picture that Bonnie drew. Can you tell us what the name of that ship is? And so he says, the name is the Leap Out Jewelry. That's the name, which I'm not sure. I mean, that's
Leap
probably
Day Williams reference from 30 Rock.
Oh man, I wish. No, I'm pretty sure. Like, so my guess is that Leap Out was supposed to be like Tobidase in Japanese, which would be like to jump. Leap out in the sense of like, jump out, like leap forward, take a big jump. And so that could be like a reference to going out to sea. It could be a reference to like his powers, the way that he bounces people away or something like that. Or it could be, like, okay, Bonnie, we're going to help you, jump out into the sun again or whatever. Something like that. There's probably some reason along those lines. But yeah, that's the name, the Leap Out Jewelry. He says, and that's it for the SBS. We are waiting for your questions for Subaru Kimura. See you next volume.
I guess that's going to be in the next one then, if you mentioned it again.
I mean, I think he's just, I think he's just reminding people that it should be coming up. So yeah, that is all the SBS for this one. I usually try to pick out a couple of the fan art things from the Usopp Gallery Pirates, which actually, speaking of which, they drew Gadatsu for the
it's the
Ukari
same
Gallery Pirates.
It's the same gag as the emu thing where they're peeking from under the waffle.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same person that drew
those. It's a good gag. I like it. I think that's probably my favorite of these two. I find emu humor excellent personally.
It is, it is pretty good.
Like,
I mean, it's at the risk of
or...
making the ultimate evil a little too cutesy and approachable, but
No, I like it when I want them to be the butt of the joke. I just find it's not cutesy. It's like it's a silhouette.
I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some woobifying going on here.
There's always some woobifying.
Yeah. But the winner of the Usopp Gallery Pirates here is a clock. It's a handmade
cool
clock that it's a carved like what is it, kurumie? I guess it's like a stenciled.
Oh, I thought it was like a stitch,
woodcut.
like the stitch work. It almost looks like, what I like the ones. But no,
I think it's like
right.
woodcraft. Yeah, but it was done by an 87-year-old grandma for her grandkids.
Oh,
wow.
Amazing.
But it's like, I'm so emotional. Oh my God, take the grand prize.
That makes me emotional. Almost. That's
great.
super cute. Yeah.
I also had to include this one of it's a parody of the scene where Frankie, when he's leaving Water 7 and he has no pants on, and then he turns and he does like the man is naked like a lion, like standing against the waves or whatever, and he does the super pose. Only this person drew Gear 5 Luffy, Blackbeard with like a black hole, and then Shanks and Buggy, and then they wrote on the bottom in English 4 Flashers instead of 4 Emperors.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Wow,
I love that Buggy.
Yeah, It's very creative.
That's really
I don't know
good.
how I feel about the Blackbeard black hole. On the one hand, it's
He's
it's
showing
creative.
hole.
I think that's hilarious.
It's creative.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it's disturbing.
You
No.
do be showing hole.
These are, I mean, yeah, wow. What is that? Sorry, I'm.
Other
Yeah, go
ones?
ahead. I'm just looking. You put the balloon ones, I think.
Oh yeah, they did a balloon art of like little jewelry, Bonnie and
super
Kuma.
cute.
Yeah, very very adorable.
Wait,
I used to be a very skilled balloon animal artist.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That feels tough.
Wow.
Like,
Did you
on
do parties?
several-
I didn't do parties. I would bring them into school and do them.
Okay,
So
well,
that was
okay.
like,
Mike,
You didn't
I'll
get
I
hire
was
paid
a
you.
for
cool kid.
I'll hire
No,
you for one in the
no.
future. Oh, but when my son got one recently at a party we went to and popped in the car, he was not happy about it.
Oh, poor kid.
It was it's a
Yeah.
balloon. These things
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Like, is it really? Is it a real childhood if you haven't been traumatized by
a balloon
suddenly
popping?
popping? Yeah.
Look, I've tried to avoid that trauma, but maybe that's
Yeah.
part of what makes us into whatever. Lost the thread. Yeah, the art is as usual great. Is there anyone we know in these? Sometimes we do.
Oh, yeah. I don't usually go looking.
Okay, sorry.
Usually find out from like social media first before.
You're right. We do.
Looking through them. And then I thought there was one other thing.
There's the second season of the One Piece live action.
Or that
that's all I see.
singled out. Oh yes, there was the update to the manga material. Where was this? I'm
trying to find it as well.
Yeah, it's okay. Here it is. Yes, it's the Domi. It's like the Domi Reversi scene where Gunko shoots Brogy with her big old shotgun thing. And originally, when she did that, she said, "I will give you the power of evil," which is, I mean, sure, that's kind of badass, but it also kind of it's a little too on the nose of it. So Oda did change that to, "I will give you the power of God." Which is much more in character with Imu's deal.
Yeah, I'm happy you changed that.
So yeah, that's a notable.
That's a good change. I also wanted to mention. So I'm just like the things I don't get to see. So I don't see the Japanese text, ever really, unless we're looking at the volumes. The Shaggy thing, and not to get back into that discussion, but I do notice the text, the font is like very prim and proper, which I think we had discussed, just like the language generally. This is chapter
which one are you looking at?
Wait, this is chapter 1151. So I don't know what page this is. They don't have page numbers on most of the pages.
Yeah.
It's like 125 or something like that. For those who have the English version in a year, I don't know what page that is, but it's I'm trying to pay a little more attention generally to the text and how.
I would say that this looks like his typical like Dendemushi.
Oh, it does.
Font, yeah.
It just is so much lighter than everything else. It looks like to me, like very right, doesn't it? Well, it's less bold, I should say.
You might be looking at Loki's bubbles.
Oh, is that his thought bubble?
Well,
you're right. You're right.
Dendemushi has the double. No. Yeah,
I take that back. It is him saying "shut up." I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop. Why are you saying? Okay. Yeah. Never mind. You're right. That's just me being.
But yeah, he doesn't always. They don't. I shouldn't say he, because it's obviously like the editors or the crew that does the typesetting. But I think usually. I don't know if he always has a different, like a lighter font for thought bubbles. We certainly don't in the English version, which is kind of a bummer. That's one of those things where it's like, it's just part of the style Bible of the series, that like when they started it in the monthly Shonen Jump, I guess they just decided, well, we're not going to differentiate it with italics, but I think that would really help, like the legibility. Unfortunately, That's just not how it works. So I can only use italics when it's like over a signal or it's like on the background. Those are the only times.
I'll say the Emu font is excellent, and that's like the most.
Yeah, I do like that.
Different. I feel like I do notice it is all the thought bubbles. I thought it was just like Loki like saying shut up. But no, they are a lighter. I'm noticing now. I don't know. I'm interested in that sort of thing. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. And I don't really get to notice this unless I'm looking at the volumes. Yeah. I know our English the one Vanessa does for the English emu and that sort of kind of text is cool as well.
Yeah.
And it does mirror pretty well. I think it's pretty faithful.
Yeah. I don't think we don't always match, like, okay, if there's like 7 different fonts that appear, we don't necessarily have 7 different English fonts that go exactly to each one. There's probably some language versions that do go to that length, but it's nice that there is at least some level of font differentiation.
Well, I know like I think it was Sarah who was a letterer at Viz makes her own fonts. And
yes, there's a couple there's a couple letterers that are like super into it, and they get really into the nitty-gritty of like making their own specifically for certain effects that like just aren't really covered as well and stuff. And hey, if you make it yourself, you can use it. Like you don't have to worry about paying whatever the
cool.
font websites are.
No, it's very cool. We don't talk about it enough. I don't know if there's stuff specifically to talk about, but it's cool. Mike, any questions?
I don't have any questions at the moment.
Steven, any answers?
What, like about text?
No, about like life and
oh well, we got how much time we got? What is the mind?
Well, let's check the YouTube bar, see how much we got left here.
Okay. We're going to move on to the anime recap and do a little bit of piece together right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
This is the double anime recap for episodes 1148 and 1149. I'm your host Sam, and today with me we have Supreme King Conqueror Majesty Overlord Ken O'Connor.
How have I never thought to do like Supreme King, Kind King? Like how I could have combined my name so long ago with the color of the Supreme King conquers hockey or something of that.
Kind King Kai.
There we go. That works. Perfect. Nice and simple. Not confusing at all.
On opposite day.
God, that's never gonna die.
Listen, we don't know when opposite day is.
Wait, okay,
I don't know when it is.
Not to tangent. Is opposite day like? Is there an actual day that people look at as opposite day?
It's definitely not today.
Yeah, definitely not today. January 25th. January 25th is International Opposite Day.
Well, we don't go by the international.
Fine, the national then.
No, think higher. Like Doflamingo. Let's go somewhere higher.
Speaking of Doflamingo, we saw him into these episodes today.
That's what I was referring to. Let's see. Episode 1148. The Lost History, Joyboy, the First Pirate. And we are kind of hanging out in catch-up mode with the anime recap lately, but that's okay. The cold open here is like I'm guessing this is just straight up Icarus falling from flying too close to the sun.
This was weird. I didn't know what this was trying to do exactly. It was
you just see like a big feathery shape falling, and feathers flying off of it as it hits the ocean. And I don't know if this is anything like I don't remember if this is anything literal in the world of One Piece or if this is just using the Icarus metaphor.
Yeah, it's weird because like One Piece does reference like other gods and other mythologies. Technically, we have like the Buddha and whatnot, so like it does reference other gods and mythos. But like I don't think this was ever directly referenced in the manga at all. So it was interesting seeing the anime take a little bit of a creative liberty here right at the start.
Yeah, it reminded me of Whole Cake Island, the anime using like the butterfly for Sanji's freedom and entrapment.
Oh right, yeah. Good point.
We get to see the Marine headquarters reacting to the news about the world progressively sinking into the ocean. We cut to Mocktown, up to their old ways, mocking and jeering.
A town of ridicule.
Throwing tomatoes at the projector screen as Vegapunk's talking. Their general attitude is, haha, yeah, right, ocean's sinking. What a loser. We've never been wrong about anything.
One of them even says, like, if you're gonna lie, at least make the lie believable. Come on, Vegapunk.
Back at Water 7, Polly is shocked that it's not just Water 7 that's sinking, because the tide is rising with every time Aqua Laguna comes through. Food for thought if that's connected in any way to the world's condition.
I could see that.
Deep in Impel Down, we have Doflamingo laughing as Magellan he's just sitting with just a fold-out chair that he's just propped up outside of Doflamingo's cell. And they're listening to the broadcast. And Doflamingo is savvy enough to know that a 5-meter rise would destroy most cities. And he's like, oh, but should we move somewhere higher? Ryugu Kingdom, they're all listening and reacting. Vegapunk continues his speech. He says he believes that sometime down the line, which relative to the recording, he does not know that it's the day of the broadcast. But he's like, someday down the line, there's going to be a massive earthquake, and the sea level will rise by 1 meter. Islands will become uninhabitable. Beaches will disappear. And everyone's just kind of reacting to the realization that he's spot on. Like he's describing an earthquake that happened earlier that day. And Vegapunk very humbly is saying, but if I'm wrong, just ignore everything I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that he adds that caveat. Like, if I'm wrong, just forget this entire message. And I think it'd be hilarious if he was wrong, and this message drones on for like 3 or 4 more episodes. Like, well, none of this matters. He was wrong, so thank God he got it right.
But there is something funny about him saying, if it turns out I'm wrong, just ignore all this. But like everyone's kind of in panic mode, like, oh my God, he's right about everything.
Yeah, one guy's like, what is this prophecy? I think it's really funny.
And he urges people not to dismiss the earthquake as a standard natural disaster. We have Saint Saturn versus the Straw Hats still. Like, incredible cuts of animation here as Nami is hitting him with the Zeus lightning bolt. Brooks going in with the icy slash. Lilith has her bubble gun. And then there's kind of a not clear sequence where Saturn is just kind of stabbing at them really fast. And it looks like he's missing them, but I think it's him being blocked by Chopper.
I was going to say, like, the animation starts off so cool in this scene. And then, like, the next scene, it just looks like he's, like they're all standing completely still like cardboard cutouts. And he's, like, jabbing the ground in front of them. Like, how is he missing them every single time? Like, he's hitting Chopper, but, like, I don't know. The animation just looked really weird at that point when he was fighting back. I couldn't get past it.
But eventually he gives up and he just kind of charges right past them. He's got bigger fish to fry or smaller snails to kill.
The elders are talking and they realize, like, hey, Vegapunk's message is top priority. Let's go get that instead. So he kind of leaves them at bay.
As he's like hopping through the air, he looks like a big bloated tick.
He does.
Because his underside is like red and glowing.
Yep. He's got that one glowy eye for part of this scene too.
Vegapunk continues. He says, I wished for peace in my own humble way. That was my first sin. Very dramatic. Saturn's escapades result in him finding the mother flame, which is a very kind of pinkish purple magenta-y flame inside of a like a submarine porthole window in a big
like
machine.
A giant vat of water with a flame inside of it. It's very cool looking.
Vegapunk starts going into the topic of the Void Century, and like as Emu's hearing this, they're like one of the butterflies perched on their finger just kind of gets away from them. He's losing his grip. He's going through the basics, like between 900 years ago and 800 years ago is a time period with no written history. And back at Mary Joa, all the celestial dragons are kind of challenging this information. But you have Saint Shalria, the girl from Sabodi. Yeah, she seems like she's like her ears are perking up, like she's listening. Like, what do you know? Like, what do we not know?
Yeah, well, it's funny. Some of the celestial dragons are just like, oh, Vegapunk deserves to be chopped up and flayed, and like they just care about like quieting him. And she just seems to be the only one like, oh, what is this? Like she has no idea. And it's almost like you would think that the celestial dragons would be privy, well, not necessarily privy to this information, but like the fact that even they don't know and they're the top authority of the world makes it
it's interesting that they don't know and most of them don't want to know.
Yeah.
We have a cutaway of a man who looks an awful lot like Jaguar D. Saul in a kind of a foresty area, leaning back on a pile of wood that he supposedly had cut down. And he's just kind of taking in the day and laughing to himself, saying, "Dead as she." Back at Orangetown, where Buggy was reigning supreme briefly, we got a young child reading a history book and asking questions to Mayor Boodle, who does not really have answers, and he's giving Shushu the little chin scritches.
Yeah, she's talking about, like the 20 countries came together and united, and that's what made the world. Like, it's a very, like, innocent version of the history.
So Vegapunk explains how he read into the history of that Void Century, and that was his second sin. And we got Robin listening in as he's explaining, having access to the research from a certain group of archaeologists. We got Edison down below somewhere, turning a valve that looks like in Tom and Jerry when there's like that one bit is going to move because it's like a cell and not the background. That's what the valve looks like.
That's the reveal, is he's alive, because the last time we saw him, he flew headfirst into the force field. So it's like, oh, he's alive. Great. Yeah. It's
well,
just
he knew he had predicted only 78% damage or something like that, right?
Yeah, but it's still just like in the manga. Like, okay, he flew in. We don't know why he did that. And then like, oh, he's alive. He's fine. The anime did the exact same thing. No effort to show him like, oh, I survived, and like crawling away or anything like that.
Vegapunk says that the main character of this story is a man who was born 900 years ago. He fought with an elastic body like the sun god Nika, and this is being read over footage of Luffy doing a big twisty wind-up punch to War Curie. But just like before, whenever Luffy hits War Curie, his fist just like explodes with flames. I'm never sure if because he acts like he just like hits War Curie's body is just really hard, but they always like draw him with these like flames.
Yeah, it's almost like the hockey on his hand is getting ignited on contact or something.
Vegapunk says that Joyboy was the first man to be called a pirate, which is a big kind of a big puzzle piece falling into place there. We catch up with the folks in Wano. Kinemon is surprised that they even get these. They're even getting these external signals into the country at all. And we got cute little Otama, now a ninja, explaining how they, this was a snail from like Orochi's castle, and it's come in handy.
Which is a great explanation, honestly.
Yeah, I buy it. It works. Kinemon asks Momonosuke if he knows about Joyboy, because Momonosuke is kind of dwelling on that name for a second. But Momonosuke just has no answer at all. They just move on. In a prison, we've got Damalo Black and his crew. They've now traded their fake Straw Hat disguises for fake Kid Pirates disguises. I like the fake Sanji, like face and hair painted to look like a kid's mask
helmet.
or killer's helmet. Yeah,
yeah, it's really funny. It
looks like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And Damala Black is doing his best kid impression, like, "Oh yeah, oh that guy, huh? Of course he's weaker than me, that Joy Ball." And then his crew gives him
Don't you mean
grief.
Joyboy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
On the poneglyphs was written the record of a great war, and he goes on to describe that the union of the 20 kingdoms that began the world government was originally just called like the Alliance. It's the precursor of the world government, and it's possible that they joined forces because Joyboy and his crew, his alliance, were just so powerful that it necessitated this alliance of kingdoms. And Joyboy, he came from an advanced civilization with weapons beyond the capability of modern technology. We cut to Zoe. We got Duke Carrot listening, and the Minx, they're listening in. Carrot's wondering if there's a connection between Joyboy and Zunisha, which we know there is likely the case because Zunisha was talking about Joyboy during Wano. And then she's just kind of amazed by the factoid that the weapons were beyond modern technology.
She seemed way too happy about these weapons of mass destruction. She's like, "Oh, it's so cool."
Yeah, she's just like, Joyboy and Zunisha. I wonder if there's a connection. Weapons? That's so cool.
Oh, Carrot, you were missed.
We see Foxy and the remainder of his crew floating in a little dinghy with a Foxy masthead. He's got like a mustache and goatee now. And Vegapunk is on the broadcast. Vegapunk is saying, even with my genius, I couldn't replicate the weapons. And then you got like Foxy doing like weird like fox hand gestures as he's like mocking Vegapunk, like, "Oh, don't say that, like we're supposed to be impressed."
Yeah, like why would you admit that, you
like
idiot?
You're a genius and you're saying that you couldn't do it. And so Vegapunk is continuing to say, "And that's where the problem lies." And like the soundtrack like goes into a very naked like dun dun dun, just to get that stinger in there.
Mm-hmm.
The crew can see the clouds of Egghead expanding forward now that the barrier that Edison took down is retreating. So now the clouds are going outward, meaning that they have a shorter distance to leap off the edge and fly to safety.
Well, the barrier is still up. He just made so more clouds stretched out from where they were.
Sure.
The barrier is still up for now.
Yeah. And Edison is thinking to himself, "Get out of here at any cost, Straw Hats. Don't let the world government catch you." Dun dun. To be continued. We move on to 1149, The Void Century, a revelation about a sinking world. And we're returning to the labo phase. I really like it when the info boxes are kind of like tracked to like the building. So like as the camera's like pushing in, like the text box is kind of like moving
with it. Yeah.
Edison is calling Stussy to let her know what he did. has given her the getaway as well. We're hearing this conversation as we're watching both Saturn and Mars individually walking through different hallways and with just snails like dying all around them.
Them walking is so funny because they're kind of like speed walking. Like there's agency there, but like they gotta make sure that they're combing through the hallways like well enough to zap every single snail. So just these awkward shots of them speed walking down the hallways was very funny to me.
Yeah, just using their like mystery zap power to just like bzz, 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 bzz,
I assumed
snails.
I assumed it's just
Or like hockey
Conker's
or something.
hockey, just the black lightning coming off of them.
But Stussy's not eager to escape. She's kind of making a justification about well, if I leave Kaku here, if I leave Lucci here, they're just gonna go after the Straw Hats. So I'm gonna keep them down. But she's admitting that without Stella, she doesn't know what to live for, and we can see kind of a stone-faced Kaku listening. You can kind of infer some sympathy. Back at the giant ship, the big Viking ship, we got kind of a beautiful like pink sunset view going as Atlas is laying down Stella's body onto the Viking ship. On the shore, we've got some of the giants versus Venus Jiro. I thought this there's one shot in here that's very strange, or like it's Oimo and or Kashi kind of swinging at Venus's legs, and like a CG Venus just like very kind of like slowly does like a hop back, like a video game character.
Yeah, it's like back step, like a prance.
It's kind of a funky like CGI animation, although the rest of this sequence looks great. Sanji's coming in for some kicks, and then one of the other giants is grabbing Venus by the tail, like the big wispy red horse tail. Just like, oh, we can grab this. It's like when Goku's keeping rabbits down during the special bean cannon.
Yes.
And Bonnie's going for a dive kick. The other giant is going for a swing, and then Venus, just looking cool as hell, just blocks both of them with his swords. And then jump kicks the guy behind him who was holding his tail. Like just the classic horse kick.
He bucks him like a horse. It's great.
And then he's like, oh, I'm going to kill you, little girl. He goes for Bonnie with the sword. Hyper slow-mo leaves us in suspense for a good few seconds here before Frankie's able to jump in and catch her, and she reverts back to her kid form. And Venus, yes?
There's a nice moment there where she turns back into a kid in Frankie's arms. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't hold that form for long. He's like, oh, don't worry, we got you. Like, he's just very reassuring of Frankie. It was a good moment.
Yeah, and just like how Saturn just kind of gave up on his fight earlier, Venus is just like, oh, well, let's go somewhere else. And he jumps into the air towards the big, just the big smoking fire tornado. And he's moonwalking. As a horse, he's moonwalking through the sky. And
it's very like unicorn magical because like every step he takes, like he clops up into the air. You see like those like little blue footprints as he's hopping through the air. It's very magical, girl.
He's very he's like a unicorn.
Exactly.
Or Pegasus. But he's got like kind of like a red version of Zoro's green like hell hockey. And he just goes and he cuts the entire laboratory in half horizontal. The big kind of like puffy bulging cloud shape is now just like opening up like a Pokeball. And get all these government agents who are inside, they're now falling to their deaths. But I don't think Venus cares.
Yeah, it was everyone who was in the basement part of the labo phase. So all of the CP agents that were kidnapped and all the Seraphim who were trapped in the bubbles too. Mm-hmm. They all fall out.
And Vegapunk, the broadcast continues. He says a cataclysm happened during the Void Century. And, fun fact, but the world has in fact sunk into the sea before. Our islands are now pieces of former continents. And, Nojiko, who's just looking fine as hell.
Yeah. Yep.
Just she's listening and she's like, you know what? I'll just go for a walk. I'll do what Luffy did when he was listening in on Nami's story. He just walk away. And Vegapunk gives the incredible fact that in the 100-year void century, the sea level had risen 200 meters in that short amount of time. And this is very shocking news. We get a scene at Drum Kingdom. Kureha calls Vegapunk young fellow.
I love that.
Another on some other island, we got some guys like kind of pointing at a mountain, like, "Look, that's 200 meters. That's how much the sea changed. That's crazy." And then camera pulls back in the foreground. We just got the former Baroque Works agents hanging out.
That happens a couple of times in this episode where even the Marines this marine ship's only 50 meters. If that's 200 meters, a couple of characters keep making comparisons to how much 200 meters is. Yes,
they're all having fun explaining it to each other.
Exactly.
And Vegapunk believes firmly that this rise is a man-made disaster and not a natural one. The ancient weapons from the before times, they are waiting to be reawoken, and the Great War from the Void Century is still ongoing. And you can see Emu is very kind of frustrated to be hearing this. We got some guy in the some guy responding to the broadcast is like, "The Great War's still going, but no one from that time is alive." And that footage is right over Emu.
Yeah.
Going over to look at Nefeltari Lily's portrait.
Is this the first time we've gotten colors and actual look at Lily?
Possibly. I guess because it was a sepia tone.
Yeah,
in
I think
Alabasta.
Because it cuts from the portrait of Lily right to the posters in Alabasta of, "Hey, have you seen Vivi?" And they look I don't say identical, but it's pretty identical. The same blue hair and everything.
Yeah, I was describing Vivi when the Alabasta when Igaram is looking at Vivi's posters. I'm thinking that's their lost child milk carton.
Yes.
And you're seeing a little bit of them mourning King Cobra, the guy's big portrait, and they got what you can assume is his his casket. To Vegapunk, the Mother Flame was an incredible technological achievement. It's an infinite source of power that he was hoping would help the entire world. But a fragment of that flame was recently stolen. And we got this kind of funky art style change as Stussy and Edison continue to talk. All the colors are now very flat, and there's this film grain effect, giving all the colors texture.
Yeah, I thought something looked weird. That looked drastically different. Is this just a style choice? I couldn't figure out why that choice was happening there, but it looked okay.
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah. I don't it kind of stands out. And it was 2 weeks after the flame was stolen that Leloucia was destroyed, and we see Moda, the cow print bandana girl. She's reacting to this. This is the first time she's hearing definitively that her home country is destroyed. And we got Elizabello III. He's like, "What? Leloucia's destroyed? Go verify this info for me."
Go check. Look out the window. Is it still there?
He's looking like season 1 Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
And Vegapunk is confessing that he feels complicit for the destruction. He's like, I had the best intentions, but the results are speak for themselves. The results speak for themselves. And I'm deeply sorry. And he's lowering his head, and he's got a pained expression on his face. He's talking about how Joyboy wanted to pass the ancient weapons on to future generations, which is a surprising thing to learn. Vegapunk asks, like, oh, what is good? What is evil? Like, who's on what side really here? And then we got, like, Sengoku stress eating his senbei crackers. And we got Sakazuki stress melting a cigar in his hands. Like, Vegapunk, you're really gonna tell them everything? And Vegapunk goes on to say that among the people who knew the secrets of the world, who had learned this stuff for themselves, were the crew of the King of the Pirates. And everybody's having a big reaction to, like, pirates know all this world-changing information. Like, what do you mean? We got York, who's been, like, running around the lab, like, much like the Five Elders have been. She's wondering out loud, you know, how could Stella have even known that she had stolen the Mother Flame? She had turned the synchronization off. Stella had acted surprised when he found out she was the traitor. The timeline just isn't adding up here. But as she's thinking about it, she does have an epiphany, and she's able to tell the Five Elders that she knows where the transmission transponder snail probably is, and it's inside the Iron Giant. It's the safest place it can be put.
Dun dun dun.
Yes, and we got the shot of the Iron Giant itself continuing to march through the fire and flames as it has been for the last few episodes.
And nothing, like, the Navy keeps attacking it, and nothing is damaging it or phasing it. It just keeps charging forward.
Yeah, that snail is safe. And then Vegapunk is pontificating. Why didn't the pirates act on their knowledge? Like, what did they learn? You know, what are they planning? What was their idea? And we got Shaki's rip-off bar, and Shaki's, like, looking over at Rayleigh, wasted over the table, like, just face on the counter. She's like, "Well, Ray, what do you think?" And Rayleigh's having himself a beleaguered laugh of sorts, saying, "Vegapunk, you're talking too much. Don't spoil it for the young. Isn't that right, Roger?" To be continued. General thoughts on these two episodes, Ken?
Very good. I watched them back to back, so they kind of, like, blended all into, like, one long episode for me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's Vegapunk's speech, and we're gonna keep getting the speech for another few episodes. So it's nice to listen to. Everything he's saying is super interesting. Visual wise, it's just fun seeing, oh, we haven't seen these characters in forever, and it's kind of like a little visual, like, oh, I remember that. Oh, that's that person. That's that person. It's bringing back, like, every single character, minor character, one-off character. It's a lot of characters. So is a quantity over quality? I don't really know, but it's nice seeing them all back, all animated, a lot of returning voice actors. So in that aspect, it's very fun. And I think the knowledge that Vegapunk is talking about is really interesting. But the actual events happening at Egghead, it's like, okay, Luffy's still running from a workery. Everyone's still fighting. They're still trying to, like, it's kind of like the action on the Straw Hats and the island isn't the important part. It's all about Vegapunk's speech and the little incidentals we're seeing off the island now. And we're just kind of, like, waiting for the speech to conclude. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I love this part in the manga as well. But you could tell that, like, all right, this is the lore dump. Just pay attention to the lore, and we'll get back to the good action in a little bit. But I enjoyed it. Good episodes.
Yeah, it's hard to make any meaningful distinctions between the last, like, almost 4 episodes now.
Yeah.
So it's not like, as an adaptation, it's not doing anything crazy. It's kind of business as usual. I do remember thinking. I remember in the manga when Venus Juro cut the Labo phase in half. I remember really wanting that to be, like, a spectacular moment in the anime, and it's fine, but
yeah,
but I don't think it really stands out as much as it could have. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to really have a comment on these episodes. It's, mostly just kind of cutting around and seeing the characters, and you get the few really consequential lore nuggets. But as far as the adaptation goes, there's not a whole lot exciting going on.
Yeah, I would say that's about right. Just like another thing, like there are some like a lot of the shots are just like straight on Vegapunk's face the entire time, but every now and then the anime gave him some really dramatic angles or like up tilts from his face and like dark shadows going. Like they're having fun showing him different angles and sometimes cutting back showing Shaka like filming him from like the side. Like they're doing what they can with it, but really like there's not much they can do with this part. They just gotta let it ride out.
Yep. Anything else you'd like to say before we move on to the next segment, Ken?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. Hopefully we'll be back for the anime recap next week and we'll be caught up again. Let's move on. Thank you, everybody.
This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, theories, and find out, am I evil, Zach? The answer is yes. Where's the good one? Let's start.
He's in the grave. That's how that scene goes.
He's spinning. Spin on. The first, let's start with this piece. That one's just for Mike and our Patreon listeners. Yeah. First one is this piece. These are questions from our Discord for our Patreon subscribers who understood the joke I made. If you want to understand our inside jokes, just subscribe to us at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. For $5 a month, you get to ask questions and a hell of a lot more. First one comes from Big Mike, who says, "Hey, OPP, I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of the perverts in sending Oda horny SBS questions." I don't have a good feeling about this. I haven't kept reading, but let's find out. At first, I was able to tolerate them, but now I just can't stand the cheap joke at the expense of the dignity of the female characters, especially when they have the opportunity to ask questions about the lore, Oda's creative process, or constructively criticize the problematic content in the series. Before I continue reading this, I just want to say, before I continue reading, and I think this is a sincere question, but I have like PTSD from the SBS just from doing it earlier that this is going to go in a bad direction. But anyway, I'll keep reading. So what could we do to start a movement to get the perverts to stop sending Oda horny SBS questions and send them to you guys as piece together questions instead? Boom. I knew a shoe was going to drop.
How's it going?
I can't. Good job, Big Mike. I do agree with all of that. Except for the what is it? You had me in the first half, but yeah. And we get those anyway. And sometimes we don't read them or cut them out. Usopp D. Great says, so I had a question for Steven. He spelt your name wrong, but we're going to forgive it here. On Teach's declaration on Jaya, can there be variations on his statement about dreams? What other translations could fit? I know that translation is a personal process, so I wanted or if there's another Japanese reader this week, take on it. There is not, so it's just Steven. And more horny questions to the SBS. Just trigger Oda with the word boobs and watch him go. And the Jaya question. Yeah, so what are your thoughts, Steven?
That is interesting. Yeah, so the famous phrase is Hito no yume wa owara ne, which is what is the
dreams something dreams never end.
People's dreams don't never ever die or don't ever end.
I just remember its end, I think, in the Viz version, because the one I made Maddie do was the One Piece manga never ends or something like that.
Will
never end. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're looking for, like, I think the straightforward interpretation of that is the way that, like, everyone kind of interprets it, which is that, like, humanity in general and people individually have dreams, and they're eternal, they're undying. You can't stamp them out. You cannot fight against the the human nature to yearn for things. And I don't know if there's like a particular angle, like, because like I'm curious. A lot of times when people send questions like this, like, oh, can you translate this some way else?
Can
I
you
always
translate
get
this again?
Well, I always get my hackles up where it's like, are they wondering if like some other potential interpretation is true, and they're trying to see if I will corroborate that without knowing what is on their mind.
I mean, as someone who does not speak Japanese and who
Mm-hmm.
would ask this sort of question potentially, like, I think it is more, could I create a new theory out of a potential, like, because Japanese, it's not one-to-one, it's never going to be one-to-one.
Right.
So,
Sure.
like, you know, you could be the greatest translator in the world, you're not going to be able to capture every sense of every word in the series. So
Right.
I think it's that for this very important thing, can it mean something else, and therefore can, you know, that maybe, oh, you were talking about like sometimes you know you can't predict the future, so you translate something one way. And I guess what he's asking here is, since they didn't know what was going to come and we still don't know what's going to come,
Mm-hmm.
could this
That's-
be
yeah.
translated in a different direction? Yeah. So I'm trying to give
That's
him a
fair.
little more.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is necessarily a situation where I feel like, oh, if only they had known about this. Now that could change because, you know, a lot of it is like we don't necessarily know. Like we can guess kind of now maybe what is driving Blackbeard, or at least we have an inkling that obviously, given what happened to his dad, you know, that certainly colors our perspective on how he might feel about the powers that be. And maybe how that informs his relationship with the rest of the world. But I don't think that I would I don't necessarily think that at this time there's like we didn't think about this angle and maybe, you know, you could translate it this way. Like, I feel pretty satisfied with the way that it's represented.
I think if
now.
anything, this flashback solidifies that translation for me as like the correct, like I can't think of another way you could say it for many reasons, but like the whole thing with rocks is that the dreams of the ancestors of the Davy pirates can't be squashed out despite
Right.
repeated efforts.
Right.
Like you could really tie that thread directly to Blackbeard potentially. Now. So if anything, I feel like that it adds a whole other personal layer to why he believes that.
Yes. And of course,
I
like
mean,
what
Skypiea
makes
was
that
different,
what makes that scene so great though is of course that he's, you know, he's not saying, oh, the dreams of my specific family's ancestors will never die,
Right.
like the will the D or whatever. You know, it is a very universal statement. That's kind of what makes it so powerful and memorable.
Yeah.
Is
well,
the way that
I mean
it's
more
lit.
that it is applicable to his own like
Yes.
journey, and
In
it gives
specific,
reason
yeah.
as to it gives it. I don't think he's saying it like I'm specifically. I think it's like a
No.
lesson he has learned because of stuff like that potentially.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I would add
sure.
also what makes that line so powerful is that it's like a potential villain antagonist saying something that is also true of Luffy and us as readers, that, you know, like is
Yes.
a very important and potent point.
It's an inspirational line, which is
it's an inspirational
yeah.
line from someone who has dubious you know, intentions. So
yes.
that part's interesting. Good question though. Reverse Eye Patch has our third and last disc piece. Hey y'all, how come when Zoro threw Yubashiri way up in the air to test its curse, it didn't go straight into the ceiling? Ippon Matsu must have a really tall shop floor. Maybe it's like a mezzanine level. Like
yeah. It's like the, you know, southern construction where like the ceilings are like 15 feet tall.
Well, we'll see when the live action does this scene.
Yeah.
I think you'll have your answer. Also, Reverse Eye Patch has their name back and without any puns, so that's fantastic. I apparently have noticed. We could move on to emails, which we have one. I believe we have one. This one comes from Psyche, who says, throwing my support for the Steve, Alex, and Josh show last week. Enjoyed listening. With the crazy theoreticals of the past age, a la the mural and the Harley, I wonder how much of the supernatural of One Piece will be explained. Are there some things that have always been in this world that will just be there, like the various races, hockey, incredible physical potential, such as what humans could do with Rokushiki or Fishman karate training? Or do even these things have origins in the past, where there's a further mundanity lost to the past? And there's a further mundanity lost to the past. I'm not someone who needs actual in-depth explanations, but to imply such things would be curious to discuss. P.S. Beginning the catch-up of 2020 OPP episodes now, one step in front of the other. You're about to get into our well-edited episodes, which I believe start in 2020. Yeah, so good luck. Yeah, Steven, I don't know if you have any thoughts on all that.
This reminds me, because it's very similar to like one of Greg's ongoing things, and every time he brings it up, I have to admit, like, I'm not really sure exactly what he means by it, but he often talks about like if there's a special power, or if there's a mythical thing or whatever, like that it has to be based on a real thing or not.
Yeah.
And I just don't really get it. I don't know. I guess I just don't see the hang up about like whether that like fits the rules or not.
Let me see.
I'm confused.
Let me see if I could untangle the Gregisms. I don't speak fluent Greg, but I speak some Greg. So what he means, I think, is that like magic, quote unquote, doesn't exist in the One Piece universe without some sort of explanation as to how it exists.
Right.
I think if anyone reads like Witch Hat Atelier, for example, like, that is a series about magic, but magic has very specific, it has to work in a specific way, and I won't spoil. And I think in One Piece, so you take each of let me take the examples they have. Like, hockey, to be fair, does have its own rules, but we don't completely know like its origin other than will and ambition. So that is one of the things I think fits much less squarely into these. I think like, a way a devil fruit works, for example, like as ridiculous as the rules get, there are rules that you could like plug in. And when we see something that looks like it's just magic, I think, to use that Gregism, it's like, how do you explain that? There must be some sort of explanation for it, because Oda wouldn't just do the thing. Like in Bleach, how they all are suddenly flying for no reason. Like, I think most shonen series usually just will do something like that. And I feel like that is a pet peeve of Oda's generally. So
I guess the reason that it just keeps coming up and keeps becoming a discussion point is because like everything that seems to be happening under the umbrella of Emu, and then when you add into that like a lot of these the mythical creature, like the mythical versions of creatures, like that seems to be, part of it is like it's artificially sort of hidden from us because Oda doesn't want to reveal all the details yet, because it's a big surprise. That always is when there's like a big special devil fruit power, and
especially
we're
for
just
like
waiting.
the big bad of the world, if not the series.
Exactly. Yeah. He's clearly inviting us to guess as to what's going on.
Well, I mean, the person, we don't know the gender or if a gender exists for Emu, but or what it is or who they are, but like that whole thing is just laughably, the reason I think the emu jokes are funny is because it is making fun of the fact that he is still in silhouette.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, or they, or it, or
Right.
whatever. So I think we're going to get explanations for that, whether or not the explanations are satisfying, I don't think, but to like go back to the question, the midichlorians are always the thing that pop into my head. Like, at what point do you need an explanation for a thing? I just rewatched Bad Batch, which is great. And they, I think, very cleverly try and like take that back, like, and make it more interesting. For those who've seen the series, I won't say anything more, but I think there are ways that you could explain a thing and make it interesting by not explaining it too much or by still giving it some vagueness. So like for midichlorians and Bad Batch, I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's that they say something like, just because you have a lot of them doesn't mean, you're automatically the best at it doesn't. I think in the prequels it gives force power or whatever it is to people, but yeah, I don't know. That's really here nor there. Let's see, Steven, do you have Reddit questions?
Yes, we do have a couple questions on Reddit. Believe it or not, we do have
I don't.
some here. You don't? Well, you would be wrong. Electric Dynamite did start up the thread for us and says, "Hey, OPP, have you considered that outside of the 5 elders and god knights, and assuming Big Mom and Kaido are indeed dead, that the only living creatures in the series that have met/fought Emu are Garp and Zeus?" That's right, Zeus. Do you think he will tell Nami if he recognizes Emu in Gunko, or is his head just in the clouds?
Boo. You almost had me until that pun. Was Zeus one of the homies that she used? I'm trying to remember. I'm assuming they're right.
I guess, yeah. I don't recall what exactly Big Mom did because there was like 5 different attacks in that.
I was just gonna pull it up. That was like 2 or 3 chapters ago at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, considering
it wasn't
that
that
like,
long ago. Yeah,
Zeus is a cloud and he's always drawn like a stereotypical like stoned Muppet. That because the jokey answer would be that no, he does not remember.
Well, because that's true. He's stoned. He definitely does not remember. Well, just because like Mother Carmel had the different version of Prometheus, and then when Zeus got fired, there was what was his replacement? What was her name?
Hera? Was that the?
I think it was Hera. I think you're right. Yeah. So just like I'm looking
fired.
No, Zeus is there. Yeah, that I assume that's Zeus.
He got let go.
Yeah.
And Zeus looks a lot less high in this, so if anything,
yeah, they do say in England they call it redundancies. So he was made redundant.
That's true. I was gonna say Zeus. No one's asked him, and also they don't know who the hell Emu is. So yes, it's possible that Zeus knows, and also like, what does he know here? Like, they all seem to think that Saturn is the monster. To be fair,
that's
he
true.
is.
Yeah.
We don't know what's growing out of his back specifically. That
right.
There's a lot of questions that how is the anime gonna do this? Like, in that, how do you, as we were talking about, how do you coyly not reveal this when it's like right in front of you?
Yeah, it's the same way they do it in the manga. It's just silhouette.
So you're telling me Roger, Big Mom, Kaido, Whitebeard, and Rox are all dead? Garp, to be fair, is frozen in carbonite at this moment, so yeah, we don't know. Any other?
I do think it is interesting to guess, and I think someone asked this maybe on a previous episode where it's like, like, is that what Emu looks like, or are we still seeing like a dramatic effect? And like, does that mean that Garp and Roger and them, did they see something that was actually in detail that would be considered like the revealed version of Emu, and we just don't get to see it because, you know, it's not the right point of the story yet?
So first off, I think the funniest thing would be if he just ends up looking like a blob.
Yeah.
I think that would actually be very funny. I think here though, they are not seeing a detailed version of Emu.
Yeah.
Like, I think
be.
this is like a, what do you call it? Like a transmogrified, you know, like a thing like a weird boil sticking out of Saturn's neck.
Ugh.
Nice.
Well, that's what you want. You want that kind of grossness, right? Do they say...
Let me go ahead and read, because we have one other question.
Okay,
here,
sorry, go ahead.
It is from Emil Nordpol, who says, "Hello, OPP. Another question on Emu. You'll see why I'm cut you off. Now that we've seen a lot more of him/her, and many characters have seen Emu as well, can we assume that the black form is not just a silhouette, but the actual body? I find it rather strange to have that many interactions with a stand-in design, and the true face and body are going to be revealed later." So what this is saying is that Emu's genitals are also a silhouette.
Well, I mean, that's we knew.
That's a call.
That we knew. It's a good callback. Was it a 6-year-old write that question too?
Yeah, the 8-year-old. Yeah.
Don't go and write at 6-year-olds. Or listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
So two things. First, Roger, when he's referring to it, says, "Do our attacks do nothing to that spider?" So very specifically, like, does not. I think that is Oda, like, saying, I don't think they see.
Yeah, Roger just sees a giant monster thing. Yeah.
To be fair, if you had no context, it completely fits the bill. Like, that's a good interpretation from Roger. The second thing is, the one person we do know 100% has seen Emu in this is Rox, because Rox did show up briefly to see Emu. So the fact that he's the only one, like, talking to Emu and, like, able to, like, have that kind of conversation makes sense. So, like, of the people we know who have seen Emu's actual visage, maybe Cobra,
maybe Sabo,
maybe Sabo, Wapple, definitely.
Wapple, yeah.
Can't
obviously
forget Wapple.
Yeah,
besides,
actually,
like, the five elders.
If there's any, like, individual character who should, like, reveal it, like, to be the one who says it's like this, it should be Wapple. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed strongly. Yeah, Vivi wasn't even there. Vivi, she, like, ran into her room, right, or something.
Yeah, he was running away. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he snuck into her mouth, his mouth, or is that just the image feature?
He was like running with his mouth open, and then she just got, like, scooped up like a pelican.
Yeah, so I don't think any of these God Valley folks, other than, like, Rox, who had seen him prior, I don't think they knew quite what was going on. Trying to think of who else. I mean, besides, like, Celestial Dragons and Five Elders and all that, would have even seen him or seen them. Yeah, I think that's although Sabo never mentions what they look like when he's giving his report to Dragon and Evenkoff, and they're talking about Emu Nerona, maybe it's just a very impressive form, like, you know.
Yeah, it's very hard to separate the like the actual factual discussions and stuff from the obfuscation for story purposes that Oda is obviously doing.
And the other thing I'm thinking of, like, let's say they just look like they're like Lily and they look like Vivi, which has been a long-standing theory.
Right.
I would say, like, wouldn't Sabo have noticed that? However, no one noticed that Blackbeard looks just like Rox, so maybe there's just a lot of face blindness in this world.
Yeah. I do like, I feel like that reveal, which I think would be awesome, like that's a really neat, like, theory to run with, but I do feel like that would be similar to the like, oh, Shaki was the treasure of Pirate Island sort of thing, where like you go back and look and it's like, okay, nobody would have reacted this way. Like they would have said it differently if they, if they were talking about, what we now know is the accurate truth, rather than being like, oh, we're going to get the treasure. We all want the treasure, instead of being like, we want that hot lady. That's the sort of thing that, I feel like, yeah, if it's that reveal, they would be talking about it more openly. So,
I'm not going to subject you guys to trivia this week, but was there like anything about last week's chapter that you like had on your mind that you all wanted to mention besides Pologram?
The recap. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I still have no we'll see what the chapter is next week. I have not seen it as of this moment. But on the assumption that like this might be the last we ever see of Rox in the flashback, since it certainly seems like it does seem like a sort of like, and this is how it ended, sort of
like we might get
transition
like
out.
I'm thinking of a conversation I previously had with Harold and Rox, and even we hadn't seen before, but yeah.
But I will say, like, as a epitaph on Rox's story, like, well, for a guy that I was kind of skeptical of at first, and I never really liked his design, not necessarily for like the Blackbeard resemblance, the way that some people have taken issue with it, but I just thought his design was too goofy, like his bicolored hair that looked like chewing gum or something. Like I thought that was kind of whack, and so I never really liked his design, but he really won me over as a character. Like I think Oda did a great job of portraying him not like as some demonic like super pirate who was like the
even though he ends up a demonic super
even
pirate.
though he ends up that way, kind of like on evil steroids, the evil drugs from Fishman Island.
No,
but
they're called God drugs now.
Yeah, they're called God drugs. But I think that like he did a great job of portraying him as like a guy who is very powerful and is driven by sort of like the a very close proximity to like the truth of the world. Like his Davy roots clearly like cause him to know a lot more about what is actually happening in the world than anyone else. And I think that he does a great job in that scene where they're, he's crying and they're like, I feel your sorrow. Like I got a really strong sense of like, yeah, this is a guy that you may not agree with him. You may not like all of his methods, but Oda does a great job of portraying like the kind of the nobility of like someone who's striving to the greatest degree to be free and to live and to, to keep his family alive and so on, and to keep his quest ongoing. And I think that was very powerfully done in a way that I would not have guessed at the start of Rox's story. So I really did. I've enjoyed the way that he has been portrayed throughout the flashback.
Mike, did you have anything you wanted to?
No, I agree with all that. I really would have to reread the chapter. Nothing's like sticking out to me. I have turned around on this, long stretch a lot more than I thought I was going to. I do want to do it in like a batch read though.
Me too.
But yeah, I'm just ready. I'm ready to get back to the mainland, see what's going on.
I really want to see like how this goes back to Harold, and then how that's going to work into Elbaf, because it's important.
But it's funny because we're like, it's like a book within a book within a book, so we have to close each of them. And we're maybe closing the innermost one, and now we have to go a few layers back before we get back to the main story. I think I really echo Steven. I think like I was like skeptical, and then I'm like, you know what? I like it. Coming back on it more recently. I think the more we've seen how it ties into this is a very different type of flashback. I've talked about this a lot, but I'll talk about a different aspect of it. It's not as much of like the usual flashback as it is like showing parallels to like the present day, and more of like a almost like a setup to what's coming next in a way that most of his flashbacks, he does it sometimes, but like I feel like this is the most he's like focused it. Like I don't want to say it's something he never does, because it is obviously something he does. Actually, the one that it reminds me of in this way is maybe the Nolan Kagura stuff, in that it feels very disjointed when you're reading it initially, but then in the context of the whole thing, it like fits so perfectly. Like when you're reading it week to week, Stephen could probably tell you more than me. It probably felt like, what the hell is this? And that kind of at points is like where I was on this on this flashback, but like the flashback is the One Piece flashback is such an exemplar of like, you can't judge it until it's over, and I always say it.
Yeah,
and it's a
absolutely.
cop out, and it sounds like I'm copping out of like, oh, I'm not giving an opinion on this, I guess, but it's like, you know, I'm even now I know we have enough left to like change opinions one way or the other. So that said, yeah, I was moved by Rock's story. I can't recall like a specific time where it's like the story was about dreams getting crushed midway, like the protagonist of a flashback like not being able to like kind of fulfill their purpose, because that feels almost, it's antithetical to the present day One Piece kind of drive. The dreams we talked about. The dreams don't ever end. And here, Blackbeard's father's, you know, his dreams were completely
it's like,
cut short.
Right. It's like, it's instead of being framed around the protege who goes on to do it. Now,
right.
If Oda continues for another 5 chapters showing Little Teach growing up, then, you know, then it's a little bit more like a typical One Piece flashback. But
I don't think that's going to happen. But
right. For the central figure to be the one who dies, you know, kind of ahead of his time, so to speak. That's usually like the parental figure who that happens to.
Which this is going to be Harold. But it's like the inherited will here is from Zabek to his boyfriend Harold here.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, their relationship is very interesting.
They have a bromance for sure.
They 100% have a bromance, at minimum a non-sexual bromance. At minimum.
That's why it's so tragic.
It is. But like the fact that, I mean, like, I understand his crew, he isn't close with all of them, but he did have a bond with them. And I mean, that's why I think Whitebeard and Big Mom and Kaido felt so dejected when they thought he was turning on them legitimately.
That's a good point, yeah.
Which is very interesting. Like, they don't all, I mean, there's the Shikis and the Golden and the Silver Axe and the other crap people. The crap people.
Yeah.
You remember
like
that.
Like you can definitely tell that he is not like a perfectly inspirational figure to everyone. Like, you know, he's definitely patched his crew together with a lot of duct tape, but there are some some people that he's closer to than, or that people who are more important to the story of One Piece, like Kaido and Big Mom, that he and Whitebeard, that he has clearly made an impression on.
He's an aspirational figure to that generation, I think.
Yeah.
Less than an inspirational figure. Like, I don't think,
like that.
For that generation. I think for future generations, he could have, you know, been more if his legacy wasn't literally squashed here. But it's a very interesting and different kind of character study that, like, I think if you're reading it on the surface level, Rox feels like this kind of impenetrably like noble guy, like idealistic, like look at what he's doing. But like if you dig into it a little bit under the surface, you're like, he is a very flawed individual whose intentions are even now still unclear. In fact, very, very opaque. Like we really don't know what he was intending. I do not think there are points in the story I'm like, is he going to do a heel turn? I believe is if Steve Yurko's listening, is the term. I thought that was going to happen. I don't think that's the case, but we don't really, I don't know. It's a very interesting character study, and the fact that it kind of is cut short in the way it is does create, it's not like wasn't bringing tears to my eyes, but it is absolutely emotional. It is an emotional story. Like it is an interest. It's like the Bad End musical, it's the bad end for Luffy. Like, what if he got his dreams cut short, you could think of. Which is maybe why Blackbeard's the way he is. But again, he was 2 here. I don't know how he remembers all this, but we'll see. Although he didn't even witness this end part because he got blasted away. Yeah.
Well, he's with his mom, so
read whatever in the newspaper, I guess.
Yeah. Or she told him, whatever is going on.
Nah, I choose to think he's literate and is reading the news at the age of 2.
He's a smart kid.
Dumb adult, smart kid. Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed this one. It's just, I think I knew when I was off that week and I wasn't going to be able to make it. I'm like, this is going to be a good chapter, isn't it? Because that's always how it works. The one thing, Steve, I know we got a lot of comments on it. Steve, Alex, and Josh, I don't think mentioned the Marco Polo thing, which they mentioned it, but they didn't mention that maybe Marco is like a reincarnation. I've been seeing that theory going around a lot.
I was confused. I guess I thought Marco was older than he was, because I was like, was this his original identity and he was hanging out with Whitebeard from the start?
Right.
But we see him younger.
No. He's like little kid.
Yeah, Marco's like 45 or something. So if this was 40 years ago, he would have been like a little kid.
It's 38 years, right? So he would have been like 7.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a little brat Marco running around.
I don't know. Yeah.
I do agree that it feels unnecessary, but I am happy that he did use the Marco Polo joke that we made.
Sure.
I'm sure Oda was listening and it was like, "Fuck, that's a great joke. I'm using it."
He's done a lot of like stuff with Marco, like the Chibi Maruko-chan joke, like just a lot of Marco like joke name jokes and the pineapple jokes and all that stuff. He's a meme factory.
He's a pineapple who lives above the sea. No one. That'll do it for Piece Together / our manga recap, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, thanks for indulging me on that. I'm not going to go through all the minutia. I just want to talk a little bit about my thoughts generally of where we are right now. Yeah, let's round off the show.
All right, let's spin on it.
This has been episode 893 of the One Piece podcast for November 17th, 2025. Thanks first off to Ed, who had to take off, for coming on the show. Thanks to Sam and Ken, who I believe have recorded their anime recap or are recording it as we speak, or which you have heard already. So that's not. Anyway, you could check us out at onepiecepodcast.com, patreon.com/onepiecepodcast, where you could get the alternate images and titles. For this week's episode, for $12 a month or more, you could also join our sticker of the month crew. This month, Steve has up on a poll right now. It's what was the title of that? I think it was Ridiculous. Might have been the title of the one of Luffy in Gear 5 playing jump rope with Kaido, like one of
like a snake. Yeah,
it's our like crew Discord image like for years. It's an iconic Stever. And then there's Flamin' Hot Kaido. And
that's a funny one.
That's a funny one.
Chester Kaido,
it's just a funny one. So you can vote now on Patreon.
It is
both good choices. Also, our alternate art this week by Mike, which is excellent and worth the price of admission alone.
Thank you.
It is. Mike always draws like quantity wise like around 10 more, which is great, which I enjoy. I enjoy the sketches.
I love to doodle
a ton.
Yeah.
I enjoy doodling. Or I enjoy doodles. So yeah, please subscribe to us there. It helps us make more. It helps us pay and hire our artists writing when we do any writing or reporting or anything else that we want to do as a site or podcast. Mike, where could people find you?
Well, I think your best place to find me right now is if you want to see art, go to Instagram, Patten_pending. If you're on Blue Sky, I'm there, Patten pending at the Blue Sky default stuff. If you want to see more art like this, check out Domance Dawn, where I do most of the cover art for that. They just hit the time skip, so I've been drawing a lot of post time skip designs on The Simpsons, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the ones you've done recently are like excellent. And we had Luke
Hey,
on,
thank you. Yeah.
the other
I just
week,
got a chance
too.
to listen to that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was trying to shout you out exclusively, but
I appreciate it. I
other artists.
Chris messaged
yeah.
me recently and was like, I forget the context, but Zach on the podcast said something about you in a balcony. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I did.
I guess so.
About
I'm behind on a lot of shows.
I don't even. Yeah. How dare you? Well, you're here. You listened to this one.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
you're
let's
caught
quiz
up.
Zach. What did he say like 2 hours ago? He's not going to remember.
That's if you ever turn the tables on me to do trivia, that should be the trivia, and I would fucking fail. Like we always get people's
That's my nightmare.
Yeah, I know, and we get like people on our Discord and elsewhere like saying, "Oh, you said this on this episode." I'm like, I said what? It's like you recorded it like 4 hours ago. How do you not remember? Yeah, Steven, where can people find you?
I'm over on Blue Sky at stephenpaul.bsky.social, and lots of cool stuff going on with the simulpubs that I'm working on. Obviously, you all know One Piece.
I need to read the monthly series whose name I always forget.
Yeah, Akane Banashi's in a real fun, like dramatic spot. Lots of tension in the air, which is fun.
It got very anime. It feels very anime right now.
In a good way. And I also recently found out we'd been off for a couple months, but I've been working on a Trillion game, which some people may be familiar with. That is actually wrapping up real soon. I worked on the penultimate chapter, and there will be one more after that. So that story's almost done. And then I guess it's a bi-weekly series now. Kurumizawa's Folly is getting real good and dramatic as well. A lot of fun, like a sort of not really mystery, but just lots of like thriller type tension in that about a guy trying to like sort of underhandedly have his manga ghostwritten by a much younger author, and lots of exciting twists and turns in that one. That's been fun to work on. So yeah, check those out. Oh, and also I guess I should point out, since my editor blew my cover, but I hadn't really been talking about it, is now that Viz is putting out Kingdom series, which of course very popular based on Chinese history. I am not the main translator of Kingdom, and I certainly would not want to be, but I did help out. I'm kind of like the understudy, I guess, when the main translator is not able to keep up with the schedule for whatever reason. So I have done a couple upcoming volumes of Kingdom, which you might look out for if you are a fan of that series. So just to let you know, you may see my name popping up there every now and then.
That's one I've been meaning. That and Vinland Saga, and now the Folly.
Those are your
homework.
homework.
Those are my homework. Those are my Stephen Paul homework.
Okay.
I only read series that you translate.
Okay. Well, that's
Yotsuba,
cool.
One Piece, and the rest that
the ones that everyone loves, like Sword Art Online. that nobody has ever.
How many times
about.
have I read that? Somewhere between 0 and 0
and 1. Yeah.
You could check me out at zachlogan.com on Blue Sky. I know Steve recorded these like 8 months ago, but his latest Pro ZD Plays games, I cameo in, I guess, technically, because there's some very deep One Piece podcast lore that comes up on there, which we talked about when Sungwon was last on. So for Steven and Mike, I don't know if you were there or you remember. But it's when Steve and I appeared on television.
Oh, I think about that all the time.
I think about it all the time too. And Steve said that there might be video out there of it, and I wasn't able to find it. But then I'm like, wait, we know someone who works at CNN who may be able to get that. Do I want to pull those specific strings for that?
Yeah,
really
let's get Jose fired. Yeah,
to embarrass Steve, Yurko, and Zach. Yes,
Zach. What were we were talking recently on Blue Sky about that? I forget the context. It was maybe it was
you're right.
the day of the election.
Oh, it was like, I think it was yeah. You made a good joke. You made one of those good jokes.
Like his good post.
Not to be confused with a good post that I made on March.
Wait, I could pull it up because it was very
13th,
funny.
2025. Around then. March 27th, maybe.
This is good. This is our trivia segment, by the way.
No, it's Steve said this is after Mom Donnie won the election. What's this? 2 weeks ago now. What's this? I thought Mike says to Steve, what's this? I think I see you and Zach on CNN right now. Steve sent the picture of him. Then my response was, oh, you're totally right. Here we are. Gotta love that iPhone 3G. It was actually an iPhone 4, and I apologize for that. That was a mistake. And you said, sick. Zach's retro core now. I said, absolutely. Upset I forgot my Nokia at home. I am typing this on a T9 keyboard right now. Which explained how I had no spelling errors. Those keyboards sucked. I, for one, hated Blackberries. So that's why I didn't give them a shout out. Not the fruit, but the phone for people who are under the age of, I don't even want to say what the age is. That'll do it for the One Piece podcast. We have a manga chapter next week, so you'll hear much less of this kind of talk. But until then, my name is Zach. See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.